anything for real. There's a free item for February. Before the show gets any worse, get yourself something for free. That's the stupid freaking pointy trident thing. What is it, Pern?
The Sea Wrecker's Trident.
You're a sea wrecker. What is it? It's a shipwrecker trident. God dang it!
Shipwrecker. The Shipwrecker Trident. I knew it had wrecker in there.
Oh God, help us.
There's a wreck of a show.
You can get something else for free. I'm not even gonna bother mentioning it though, because we don't deserve advertisements at this point. So let's you know what?
Actually, while we doing the PSAs, also for everyone out there, don't forget, being the first, it is the reset of your oysters and the Premier Club Vault and all that type of stuff.
Our viewer count has dropped to 0 where it belongs. Thank you. Good.
It was funny.
I can't even bear to watch myself.
No, I'm in there. Actually, you should have at least me watching it.
No. According to these statistics.
Your statistics are wrong, because I am still there. That's why I looked over. I said, no, I'm still there.
All right, let's see here.
That's a good chuckle.
I'm having fun. It's funny because this show is actually jam-packed with some awesome topics, and I'm really excited to get into it. So, you know, I totally don't mind bombing the intro at all. I didn't foresee that totally landmining me like that. Well, you know what's funny? We did, actually. If you listen to the pre-show, which you can do it at patreon.com/RuneScape, right after this show ends, I will post the pre-show. The pre-show, once again, was almost 2 hours. If I was looking at it, I was just converting it, actually. I might actually be able to post it. Might not actually be able to post it early. Maybe not, though, because I dropped a few frames, so I don't want to mess with my internet. And this is the first time I think I've ever dropped frames, like ever. So maybe I won't mess with my internet.
Yeah, let's not.
Anyway, that being said, another huge pre-show, mainly because we had a bunch of stuff to talk about in the pre-show. But, yeah. Totally derailed myself there. Oh yeah, we were talking about the last topic right at the end of the show, and I basically made myself nauseous laughing about it. And we figured that I was gonna destroy the intro to the show due to that last topic, but for a completely different reason.
I know.
So yeah,
that was funny.
You can find out why patreon.com/RuneScape for only $1. It's crazy.
And welcome to Pure Sushi, who was just logged into.
What's going on, buddy?
Did you hear the intro? That's
no, don't listen to the intro. I ruined it, and it was not a good time. I mean, you know, it's okay. It was a good time.
It was a good time, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Professionally, for my career, it was not a good time. It was a low point in my voice acting career. It was a high point in my comedy career. But anyway, you know, I'm glad to be here. It's a Friday morning. I'm feeling good. We have a good docket. Let's see. So, Double XP weekend. That's coming up pretty soon. I've been told. I'm a little out of the loop. Do we have exact dates?
End of February. End of February.
End of February.
Or 24th, I think it is, something like that. Plenty of time for them to get all that bonus XP back onto Treasure Hunter after you changed it all last week with Vic. Now you can go and buy a whole lot more to use for Double XP weekend.
Of course. I'm doing great. How are you feeling, Pern? Besides the back.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, the Patreons will already know this, but I ran out of my main pain medication, which is the oxycodone, and really need it because it's been super hot the last week and a half here with high 30s up to 43 degree days which is about, I think, 109, 110 in Fahrenheit over there, and just tossing and turning all night. The pain in the back is just blown out again. So it was really fun picking up my son, coming home to take my pain med before I did the show, and shaking the box and going, "Where's all my tablets?"
Yeah, I feel bad.
So, yeah, but that's okay. It'll probably keep my filter off a bit today. So if I do start waffling on, remember, just tell me to shut up. Speaking of which, sorry if I can just say, I was on the RSB&B monthly bit this month where we're talking about the good, the bad, and the future.
By
of
the
RuneScape.
way,
So, yeah.
I'm thinking of possibly opening up a lawsuit against them via the monthly bit. Just gonna say.
The Magebit.
I don't necessarily hold any trademarks yet against the
Well,
monthly.
they are the RuneScape bits and bytes. So that's why it's called monthly bit.
I know.
So.
I'm joking. I'm obviously joking. My feud that I've theory crafted for my ass is still ongoing. But yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm sorry that you're having a rough night, Pern. I really appreciate you hanging on. If you need to duck out early, don't.
Well, in all honesty, with the pain, I mean, I won't be sleeping anyway until I get my pain meds. So, do as I normally do. I do my stretches and such while I'm doing the show, and do half the show standing, half the show sitting, so it won't be any different, really.
Yeah, you opened that little reality up to me for the first time ever, actually. First of all, I want to finish my sentence. I was going to say, don't hesitate. You cut me off and made me sound like...
Oh, sorry.
It made me sound like I would say, don't. You can go if you need to. No, yeah, you revealed that to me for the... I didn't know that you actually get up and stretch and whatnot during the show. I was like,
If I sat for that long, I'd have to be dragged out of the chair. That's the thing. I can't, any more than sort of hour and a half, 2 hours. And this is the most comfortable chair in my house, is my office chair on the couch and all that. I mean, I can't sit for that long. But I just sort of stand up. I do a few stretches and things. That's the beauty about this adjustable boom arm I've got for my microphone. It just sort of comes along with me.
You do. You do it well, and you have a good quality boom arm because it doesn't make any squeaky noises when you swing it around or whatnot.
No, and I do have a can of WD-40 in here just in case.
Very nice, very nice. Well then, let's see. We have a very busy docket to get into for today. Like I said, I've shamed myself away from bothering to advertise any Skillshare. So you've heard the advertisements. They're there.
Skillshare is awesome.
Yeah, you want to join me? You know the links. They're there.
Yep.
You can click them if you want them. We're gonna pop directly in to our first topic for the day, which is going to be the main update for the week, which was improved loot sharing and stone spirits. So it says here, quoting from RuneScape.com, in the spirit of the New Year's resolution, the team has been beavering away, giving RuneScape a health checkup this week. Miles have been run on the treadmill and iron has been pumped on the bench. We're feeling fit and lean, and we've got loads of improvements and tweaks to be talked about. Loot sharing. We are starting the week with a wonderful feature that'll make managing boss masses with other players much easier. Players who wish to share loot with others no longer need to have the other person added to their friends list. You will still have to be in the same person's friends chat, however. That's still a big improvement. It's just, friends chats, obviously, much larger capacity than a friends list.
And that's it. And before, I mean, if you're just going in we do a call out to the clan and they bring some of their friends along, then you sort of have to add all those people to your friends list. And if you've got a full friends list, that's very hard to do because then you've got to go through and start deleting people. This way, as long as they're in your friends chat, bang, it's done. No hassle at all. Everyone in there, ready to go and share that loot. So that is, for people who do masses, that is a really good one. And that'll make their streams Mod Lee will be really happy about this, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would assume this would make those types of events a lot more popular, right? You would assume more people would want to turn out because loot share would be an option for these. I would think that he would be advocating for these for this update behind the scenes.
He's probably been asking for this since he's been doing them.
Right. Now, Stone Spirits. This is the meat and potato update for the week, right?
Yes, this is the contentious one.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about this update. Now, I'm also...
I like it, but
I understand why it happened. I also... I was kind of being hyperbolic in my own Discord about it. I posted kind of an emoji-only response to it. I'm over here dropping dark Animica Stone Spirits on the ground. Hang on. People are just going to be so happy with me. Get away from my dark Animica Stone Spirits. You can't have it.
Why are you dropping them on the ground?
Because I have a full inventory.
So it fell on the ground. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sacrificing a sign of the porter. Just too many inventory spaces. I came down here ill-prepared for the... you know what I gotta do? Let me just quickly pop off one of these Grace of the Elves and charge you back up. And yeah, and then just put this back on. Now we'll be in a little bit better shape. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not crazy about this update, but I understand why they did it. As long as it doesn't go any further than this, I won't be unhappy. If it goes further than this, I'm gonna start getting unhappy.
Yep. I'll let you read it, and then I'll say my little bit at the end of it.
We're aware of the discussion surrounding the devaluation of Rune Ore Stone Spirits since the release of the mining and smithing rework, as well as the conversations about drop tables. As a result, we're making the following changes. First off, Queen Black Dragon. Runite Stone Spirits will be changed to Orichalcite Stone Spirits and Dracolith Stone Spirits. Adamant and Coal Stone Spirits are being changed to Luminite Stone Spirits and Runite Stone Spirits. God Wars Dungeon 2 is having its Runite changed to Nechrite and Phasmatite Stone Spirits. Coal is being changed to Luminite Stone Spirits. I have trouble with that every time. Thank you, Super Mario Galaxy. Solak having its Runite changed to Banite and Light Animica Stone Spirits. And Nex having its Coal changed to Luminite. So it continues and says, we're confident these changes will improve things. Nonetheless, we will continue to monitor the situation closely and make further adjustments as required.
Yeah. Now, I am happy about this because, it's still... Everyone's going, it's going to cause crash of all these items. Well, no, because it still requires the miners to go and buy these things. I just went and purchased myself 10,000 Luminite Stone Spirits, which cost me about 780 GP each. So I get double Luminite while I'm mining. That's great, nice and quick for me. I need to get that stuff out. Now, Coal when it was selling by itself, was still only about 220 GP. Luminite Stone Spirits at 780 GP, basically. They're making more money out of those, but people are still whinging. Yes, Rune is still very cheap, the Rune Stone Spirits, but what people need to remember with the Rune, the Addy, and the Coal, there is so much of that still in game that people need to use. So... hoard it, keep it in your banks, because basically in 3 or 4 months' time, as all that excess that has been there from before gets used up, as people are making it into Elder Rune and getting all that stuff out, this is the only way your ore is going to be coming into the game now. Miners are then going to start, that you need Rune to make Elder Rune and such, so they will start going up in price.
Ore
eventually.
Is always going to exit the game faster than it enters the game.
Yes.
So
just
be ready. Even though there are stockpiles, even though you're watching me stockpile ore, smithers are always going to be smithing ore faster than players can stockpile ore in the game. It's just I could even have 10 boxes going that you can't see in the background, and smithers are going to be smithing it faster out of the game. Good.
That's it. And the beauty of it is as I said, if I can buy that the Stone Spirit for about half the price of an ore, I'm making sort of 150% on every ore that I gather, because I'm getting the 2 ores. I'm spending sort of 50% of one of the ore price on getting that double ore. So they'll push up as things go out there. So I think it's a good thing. The only one they haven't put out is the Dark Animica still, which I think is great. Keep one of them done. I have a sort of sneaking suspicion that may come with the Magister. I think that may be one of his drops. He may get Dark and Light Animica, but because it sort of fits in with what he's with what he is. But I think
like. I mean, thematically, I get what you're saying, but like when you're thinking, I don't know, like level wise, would that make sense to give him Light and Dark?
Well, I mean, you've got to. It is a fair fight to get through the dungeon to him. Remember, you don't just go straight in and start fighting him. You've got to fight your way through the dungeon, through 2 other bosses, through the mini bosses and such to get to him.
Okay, I've never fought Magister. Sorry.
Sorry, not Magister. Who the new one that's coming out in Elite Dungeons 3.
Oh, okay.
The ambassador. Sorry, I got that right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, forget that. The ambassador is who I mean. So you've got to fight through dungeons to get to him.
Yeah, different story.
That's where I think. Yeah, that's where I think because
I can live with that. That's a much.
It's probably going to take 20 minutes each time to get through to get a drop.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Unless you're David and you do it in 5. But
and that's the thing is how many Davids are there? That and also how many Davids are going to be sitting there wasting their time because they'd rather be at Solak.
Exactly. Well, they're all over on old school now. David's playing old school. They've all moved over there. So I don't think we've got many.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a positive move. I like the way that they've done it. So, it does lower the drop tables a little bit on PVM, which, let's face it, has been needed. And you notice they didn't do anything on Talos because Talos was making so much money anyway. They've left the junk drops with him on his coal and such, which is good. Yeah. But this has been needed for a long time. Yes, they'll be screaming and crying for a few days, but in a month's time, everyone's just going to forget about it. It's just going to be normal. That's what we've got. That's what we do, and they're all happy with it again. And we've got some posts coming up later on about all this too, so we won't go into it too much. But as I said, I do think it's a positive thing. I like it. I'll as long as the price is right on them, as long as I'm getting sort of 50 or 60% of the price of just the ore itself, I'll be happy buying it. Right on.
And into the patch notes.
Now I've got it. They've only got a couple there, so I'll read out. You read those ones there, and then I'll read the important ones.
Right. Some of the changes we've made to the Grace of the Elves. Alchemical Onyx. Players are now able to toggle the Porter effect on and off. Porters and Grace of the Elves will now deposit bars directly into the metal bank instead of your regular bank. That is pretty sweet.
Too fantastic. Yeah, it's probably that to me is the update of the week.
Right? So that's so awesome. So now I'm using is that on by default? Did I have to toggle it on?
If you load on, it's on. If you when you go into it's got toggle porter, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th one down, and you can turn it off if you want to.
I don't want.
But generally, it's on by default. And you'll always tell because down in your little.
Will it always send it to my metal bank though?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that always sends to your metal bank now.
Okay.
So no more does it go to your regular bank.
Okay. Good.
Yes. No, that's just automatic. That was just one fix that they. These are little things that little tweaks we're going to get along the way, things like that. Because it's always annoying. The other thing I want to do is being able to empty your Elder Rune box into a deposit box. Because at the moment you can't do that.
Yep.
But that again, something that'll come in the future. I think.
Yep. I agree.
You can't empty it into your inventory to do it.
I figured that might be a limitation of the game engine's banking system.
Maybe.
And I think because here's the thing, is that is a detachment from the actual banking system, and I can tell you that because it doesn't require the bank pin. So.
Because you're only depositing, you're not taking.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can I don't know how much of Yeah, that's my only question. And I don't know. I'm not a game engine designer for RuneScape, so I don't know. I'm just raising these questions, so I just don't want to get your hopes up is all. I'm just saying curb your hopes because RuneScape.
I mean, if they do, they do. If they don't,
Yeah.
it's no big issue.
Well, it is to me because I really want that. And I'm you know what? I just changed it. This is actually all for me. I'm curbing my own hopes.
But anyway, on to other patches. Analyze and disassemble will no longer put the player into a combat stance and skull them when used on another player. So when people in the wilderness are saying, "Hey, just analyze me," that won't work anymore. That was another one that was out there, and just get rid of PvP. It's just every week there's something skull trick in there. Now, players may now augment their trimmed and custom fit masterwork armor at any percentage charge, and this can be done at any invention workbench. So it doesn't have to be at 100% charge anymore. You can do it at any charge if you want to augment it. Sweet. Another really big fix that they did for those players who use it out there.
Nice.
The default 5% extra XP for creating burial sets will now correctly apply when smithing the sets, and that 5% stack. That 5% will stack with the Solemn Smith unlocks from the Artisan's Workshop reward shop. They have increased the Grand Exchange buy limit of Ascension Keystones and keys to the crossing from 100 to 300. So that'll help people going out there fighting those bosses a little bit more. One that I really love, the Elite outfit can now teleport to the Crystal Skill Chompers area if the player obviously has the quest requirements. And another good one, another use for your Congealed Blood. It can now be used to overcharge the Draken's Medallion from the previous cap of 10 up to a maximum of 25,000 charges. So remember the Draken's Medallion? Yeah, you got to go down and recharge it every time in the blood pool.
Yes.
You just buy some Congealed Blood, and you can have it up to 25,000 charges on it now.
Yeah, this is one of the best of the week.
Yeah, that was really good as well. Obviously, we said about the Grace of the Elves has a new option whilst worn, and that is only whilst worn, that toggle on and off. So you need to be wearing it. So people who have got it in their inventory saying it's not working, no, you have to be wearing it.
Good to know.
Another good one for thieves out there. Pick Lock is now the left-click option on the Varrock Palace Treasury door. For those of you who do the safe cracking up there, where it was always you had to right-click and drop down, and you always failed up there no matter what your level, it's just a straight left-click option now, so nice and easy. And finally, the most important update of the week. A dwarf who appears in Boric's cave after completing Doric's gnome task has changed his medication and no longer flails madly at the empty space where an anvil used to be.
I don't know. That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that when I was down there because someone was saying the Boric and Doric you can't get down. And I thought, yes, you can. And there's this dwarf just sitting there. He's got the hammer. He's just waving it in the air because the anvil down there's gone.
That's awesome. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes. So that is your patch notes, or the main patch notes for the week. Obviously, if you want to see the full list, head over to the website and check them out.
Yar. And now, for like a visual presentation, sort of.
Yes.
They did this is kind of cool. They did kind of like
I like how this.
I'm going to bring this up on screen for people who are watching the live feed.
And this is actually on the official forums too, not on Reddit. They've done actually something really nice on the official forums, the insights and stats for 2018, while Mage brings that up.
This is the support news, insight and stats. So Jagex Player Support 2018, our biggest year ever, they say. In 2018, over 6 million players visited our support center from all around the world. And then they have kind of like a heat map almost of like where in the world most of their players are from. And basically you can see where in the world everyone is from. And it's basically it's North America, the UK, Is that Scandinavia a little bit? Or is
Australia's
that
number 4, which surprised me.
Australia is huge. What is that up there? Is that Sweden? Yep, I was right. A little bit, sort of. The Netherlands.
Yeah, the one that looks like the goat's head almost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, so yeah. So you have you have the underworld, the UK, Australia, and like, oh, there's even some in Brazil. It's actually 7. I didn't notice that down there. Venezuela's number 6.
Venezuela number 6.
We don't want to. We're not supposed to talk about that.
Aren't we?
I mean, there's a joke about it.
Isn't that where what's his name ran to?
No, well, Venezuela is number 6 because
Bot farms?
Yeah, bot farms.
Okay.
And well, yeah, real world trading. People make a living there. Their economy is so bad.
Yeah, I heard that's where Mod Shed ran to.
So let's see. 9 out of 10 players were able to solve their issues by using our self-help guides.
That just was. Here's a self-help guide. Go home, breathe deeply, just read through that, and make sure you're in a nice, calm environment with.
I want to know how many of those self-help guides were RuneScape Weekly, or were the Kill, Skill, and Chill clan chat. Player support helped more than 800,000 RuneScape and old school players. Your top 4 contact types broke down into account recovery, ban appeal, support tickets, and tweets. Let's see. Account recover. Oh god, these are numbers with no delineated commas or like she didn't even use just no sort of like.
That's basically the pie chart. You just use a pie chart off what's it called, the Microsoft Office, because that's how it does it. But yeah, 299,000 for account recovery, 299,000 on ban appeals, support tickets close on 129,000, and 52,000 by tweet.
Thank you. I have issues with numbers. We have spent 75,000 hours helping players. I like the little odometer. Like, yeah, fill that up, and managed to meet our response 95% of the time.
That is some pretty awesome stats.
That is pretty great. 95% of the time is good.
So their response to have it done within 48 hours is their target is. So, that's when you consider, how many players they have helped to get that response time to 95%. That's pretty awesome.
It is pretty good. We resolved 68% of your queries with our first response, and that's pretty great, actually. To just be able to pop out one response and be able to take care of a ticket, it's pretty rare.
Maybe a lot of those tickets are though. I got banned for real world trading. And or botting and such, and they've gone, yep, no, you did it, see you later.
Maybe. And still have 83% of players satisfied. That's
that is good as well. Yeah,
we reviewed the other 17%, they say, to see how their experience could have been improved. 6.3 million accounts were banned as they were caught breaking the rules.
And as we're saying that the other 17%, we say it all the time. Most of the ones who say, we didn't like it, our response is because they denied their appeals for real world trading and botting.
30% of appeals were successful, giving those players another chance. The rest were just pulling our leg.
I did like that too.
0.01% were trying to pull something else. Initiatives. February. In-game customer satisfaction gave a voice to everyone, so we don't have to guess how our players feel, helping us to focus on what matters. March. We switched from using unbranded shortened links to easily identifiable Jagex branded links, important in the fight against phishing. April. My monitor is trying to turn itself off. April. We continue to help players who have purchased bonds incorrectly by transferring them over to the right ones. Remember to check when you're purchasing bonds for the correct game.
Now, that is actually... I thought if you were wrong, it's like, well, bad luck, that... You're there, you got to check it yourself. It's your responsibility to check these things.
You know what?
That they actually do help them transfer it like that, that is pretty good.
That's cool. That is pretty cool. And to be fair, World of Warcraft is pretty good about that too. Like Sudwood brought me in for like a free trial, and he gave me like a 3-month free trial that he got. Like he paid for it basically with like his in-game cash that he got, and I applied it to like the wrong account. And I contacted them, and I was like, I did an oopsie, and they were like, which account did you want it on? And they did it within like 30 minutes they did it. So
okay, that's pretty good.
Jagex, yeah, and Jagex is bragging about doing it within 24 hours. So, just saying, yeah, Jagex being able to get up there and do that, and Blizzard is $1 billion company. Okay.
Also, Blizzard is American. Isn't it? They're situated in America.
They're massive.
So in the UK, I mean, doing their business hours, they could probably get the UK ones done in 30 minutes too.
Yeah,
what we've got to remember is, I'm contacting them at, sort of 3 o'clock in the morning their time about a problem. I can't expect to have something done in 30 minutes.
It's possible. Definitely, yeah. If you're I'm not Australian, but yes. If I was contacting them at 5 in the morning. If I was contacting them at 5 in the morning, it would probably be great for them. My time, because they would have just opened. They would be fresh like 10 o'clock in the morning for them. But if I was contacting them at like 5 in the evening for me, no, it would be yes. I would have to wait until the next day. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that. But funny thing is it was like 6 o'clock in the evening, and bam. But Blizzard has 24/7 support because they're like $1 billion company. Yeah. Like, yeah, Jagex is getting this. Jagex has, made $1 billion in their lifetime. Like, you can't.
They're $1 billion company over 18.
Yeah, you can't compare them, and I'm not trying to compare them. What I'm saying is, look at them making strides in that direction. Look how far they're coming towards that. They're making it there. They have come from this tiny indie company to becoming this powerhouse, and I'm so proud of them. Like, it's awesome. And all right, enough. Let me move along.
Yep.
May. Thank you. The world was consumed by GDPR. And May, we saw the introduction of data subject access requests since launch. We've processed over 2,000 requests. Yeah, thanks to players being assholes mostly. We were pleased to see in July 12,499 players securing their accounts by activating the authenticator during Account Security Week to get those sweet, sweet double keys. They were all deactivated 2 weeks later. I'm just kidding.
Idiots, yeah. Everyone. Anyway, I tell everyone who joins up as much as first thing you do, make sure you put your authenticator on.
Yeah. September, we began to focus on your app reviews for Old School Mobile, which has helped highlight and resolve many issues. Thanks to you, we've consistently scored over 4.5, and we've featured on app stores across the world. Since its launch, we have nearly 20,000 reviews. I wish I could get that in the iTunes podcast store. October. Winter finally arrived. Too soon? Mobile's launch saw us receive 3 weeks worth of contacts in just 5 days. You know what? Funny enough, I was actually thinking this, and they said it. I was wondering if that's why their time to reply went down a bit, like that percentage we saw.
True, yeah.
And I was like,
because we did see, November, December, they did drop it.
Yeah, I was like, I bet you that's why their time to reply went down. Into the 80s. Anyway,
makes sense.
Player support worked incredibly hard to reply to every one of you. November was a busy month. Improved to the foreign login process means we're now able to provide usernames to players 100 times faster.
That was forgotten login, not foreign login.
Thank you. I was wondering why that made no sense. Updates to account recovery forum have helped players recover their accounts more easily, whilst we are also on hand to help with any Premier Club queries and support requests. December. We're proud to be there for our players whenever they need us. Heed the rain or shine. We even work on Christmas Day. No one told you to.
Yeah, their bosses told them to.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Thank you. Was this article helpful? Down.
Okay. I gave it a thumbs up on that one.
That was a nice article. That was good. I enjoyed that. So there you go. So overall, I think it was a pretty good year for player support. It sounds like they expanded. We know they expanded into, they purchased a contract with Keywords, a large, well-known support studio that licenses out to big names like Microsoft and EA. So you know their quality. Take that how you will. Anyway, what else we got on deck? Moving along. You want to help me out here?
We have a TLDW. Yes, I did actually watch this.
Cool.
With the Ninja Eye. We saw Mod Kelpie back for the first time in a long time. He was wearing obviously a plastic helmet, steel helmet.
Interesting.
Who the hell is that guy? And then he's pulled it off, and it's Kelpie.
It was covering his face.
Yeah, it was funny. They did get a couple of people asking why do they all look so grumpy, and Kelpie says that I just always look this way. So that was funny. But anyway, let's get straight on into it. And previous update information, the ability queuing should currently be in a middle ground from pre to post update changes. And the Diviner's headpiece is a known issue and will be sorted out. Apparently it's not working correctly. Again, they gave us sort of a bit more information. Elite dungeons will no longer require the completion of the other elite dungeons when they release ED3. So where you had to do sort of Elite Dungeons 1 to move on to Elite Dungeons 2, when they release Elite Dungeons 3, you won't need that requirement. Which sort of, in the story or in the lore of it, at the end of Elite Dungeons 1, Seiryu sort of tells you, hey, listen, I feel there's another creature out there in the same situation, and guides you towards the second Elite Dungeon. So it sort of always made sense why you had to do them in order like that. But anyway, they're doing away with that at the moment. The player-owned farm improvements and quest improvements are examples of the themed weeks. They were talking about just doing more themed weeks coming up with a lot of their fixes and such, so that ninja fixes will be worked in around those as well, and just sort of keeping themes together so it doesn't look like just a patch week. It'll be like last week, the combat update. They'll be able to sort of more push them as reasonable updates rather than just patch weeks, which I thought was a good idea as well, with the way people sort of complain all the time about patch weeks. And similar themed updates tied together to improve the impact on players and testing. And they said it just sort of also helps people, get the message out there. If you know there's a bunch of combat reworks, you're actually more inclined to go and look at it and check it out. If you've got a whole lot of mining ones, you're going to go and have a look at it rather than just sort of everything thrown into a big pot and thrown out there together. Yeah. Moving on to the player-owned farm updates. The farmers' market prices on these, there's going to be a Storm Barn deed, which is going to cost you 5k, so you'll be able to have a barn to store your animals in. You will be able to get an extension of an extra 15 space, or 15 spaces, I should say. So I think it's 5 spaces first get it, and you can put it out to 15 spaces. That'll be 20k. Status icons are going to cost 1.5k. Thing, who is a babysitter for the small pen, will cost you 1k. Handy is for if you want to get another one. That'll also be 1k. 2 for the medium pens, which are Zygo Maid and Emily. They're 2k a piece. The large pen, also 2, Dorbo and Teensy. They are 3.5k each. Now, Karen will look after any pen at 3.5k. Susan, again, look after any pen at 3.5k. Kellia will be the collector for the breeding pen at 2.5k. So they'll collect the animals in an unchecked status for you. And Adam Antite will be the trapper. He will
Adam Antite. Sorry.
I don't get that joke, so...
You don't?
No.
Adamantite? It's
Adam. Oh, okay. Adam
that's
Antite.
almost like...
Okay.
And I thought I was bad with potions when drunk.
I'm off my drugs.
That's fine. Yeah.
No, I thought that had something to do with some TV show or something.
Like Adamant.
Yeah.
It's almost like a triple pun with Adamant, almost. Kind of.
Yeah. The farmhands. Farmhands are helpers on the farm who do tasks for you. There's a cost for each time a farmhand is used, so it's 2 for a small pen, 5 for a medium pen, and 10 for a large pen. 10 beans will be any pen or the breeding pen, and 100 beans to use the trapper. So those other ones are just to unlock them, and then you pay an ongoing bean cost, which is good because that sort of gives you a reason to continue gathering beans. Yeah, you can have up to 3 farmhands per pen, and they are assigned by interacting with the pens. Not all farms can be allocated to any pen. Farmhand categories. Trappers can be sent to a random unchecked animal for you. A collector converts and stores excess animals in your breeding pen into unchecked versions, and the babysitter will prevent animals growing past the adolescent stage, so you can sort of maximize your beans for those. Status icons. Sorry. Status icons displays magical icons above the animals to show if they need harvesting or healing. Status icons are toggled via the toggle icons option on Granny Potterington. The Storm Barn will require level 60 construction, 20 mahogany plus planks, and 225 rune nails. Oh. A way of transferring your animals into a storage system so players no longer have to keep them in their bank. And you can store any size of animal up to the storage limit of 15 or 30. So the basic one is, as we said, 5k, 15, and you get an extra 15 spaces for another 20k there. Baby Shakes Troll. Baby Shakes will take any and all checked animals off your hands in exchange for 10% of their base bean value. You can feed animals to it one at a time or all at once. Baby Shake's name will change to the name of the last animal it ate. So you're feeding your animals to a troll. I love it. I'm just releasing. I'm still. One thing I need is is Sacred Yak, and I've got my yaks fully specced out, and it's just not getting it. So I just drop them all the time, so I can start feeding it to the troll now. Some quality of life updates. Players will receive a chat message. Pen runs out of food. You can add a "Don't Ask Me Again" option when removing unharvested animals. Shiny animals now count as a wild card when sold to player-owned farm NPCs. Matching breed/trait will give 10% more beans. Matching both will give 25% more beans. Elite farmer hats can be used to teleport or receive items if you owned the master farmer hat. Players who have completed the collection log can talk to Sam to unlock the old MC title. The old so you can be old Pyrnassius.
You could, yeah.
Yes, and actually I that's Sacred Jack, but then I could. Players will need to maintain this title as and when more animals are added to the breeding log. Moving on to quests. The blow updates will be released together, but there is no current ETA. There will be the Chef's Assistant. It's a free-to-play quest focused around cheesecake. Again, starting point, talk to the head chef in the cooking guild. Your requirements will be the cook's assistant and 32 cooking. Age, ambiguous. Difficulty, novice, and length will be short to medium. So it can be a 5th or 6th age quest. They're not really giving it anything there. Quest overview improvements. Added the year a quest was added and displayed the quest series, the number, the age, and the length of the quest. Quest list improvements, the area, the location the quest is started in, the combat difficulty, which will be the combat level of the NPCs, obviously. You can do it by release date, so it'll list it by the year it was released in. The timeline, the partially canon order of the adventure completes the quest in. Series, the series a particular quest belongs to. And that was basically it.
So pretty much
then they went into a whole lot of questions, such.
The only thing I wasn't familiar with that's on here is the Storm Barn, and well, the Baby Shakes troll also.
Yeah.
Wasn't...
Well, the barn they did tell us they were going to do, but the Baby Shakes troll. So that was good.
Yeah, that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
More beans, and I mean, if you can stomach, I'm sure there's going to be some PETA posts, but
oh yeah, people will be complaining about how cruelty to animals and such.
I'm surprised that must have been a Mod Raven idea. I can't imagine. I can't imagine it wasn't. Anyway.
Anyway, just while you read the next one, I'm just going to duck out for just a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
no
worries.
As soon as I can.
No problem. Let's see. So quests. So the Chef Assistant quest is going to be free-to-play quest focused around, let's be honest, everyone's favorite dessert here, cheesecake, and I added in everyone's favorite. It may not be, but it's mine. So it's everyone's. Start point is going to be talking to the head chef in the cooking guild. The requirements are cook's assistant, so it's quite steep there. 32 cooking as well. Age is ambiguous, so any age, it doesn't really matter. And I assume that means not your age, but the age it takes place in, of the 6th age, 5th age, doesn't matter. Difficulty, novice. Pern would roast me if he were here. If there was anyone here to roast me, they would roast me. Length, short to medium. Quest overview. And let's see, improvements. Added the year the quest was added. Okay. Display the number of quest series or age or the length of a quest inside the quest guide. Quest list improvements. The following sorting options will be added. Area, so the location the quest starts in, you'll be able to sort by that. Combat difficulty, so the difficulty of the combat NPCs, you can sort quests by that. Release date, the year in which the quest was actually put in the game, you'll be able to sort by that. Timeline, the partiality of the canon in which the adventurer completes the quest, so you can choose by that. Or even the series, the particular order in which the quest belongs to. So again, that will help new players or even middle players, basically players of any ilk who are not master quest capers. If you're anyone who's not basically a lore master, this is going to kind of help you get into lore, I think, if you want to get into the lore. If you're having trouble with lore and the act of getting into said lore, you'd find, I think, some solace in that update. As far as the chef's assistant quest, I think that's adorable. I love this idea. Obviously, it can't be much more than a gimmicky little novice quest. Free to play, so, obviously nice to throw things to free to play every now and again. I'm sure people are going to consider it a waste of time. People, I say. When I say people, I mean my people. I mean people of my peers, people of my level. So, that's sad to think about for me, but I think that these types of updates deserve to be made because I think that they are cute and the average player will find them quaint and will take them to heart. And when you are least expecting a quest like this to come along, it comes along and touches your heart. And it's good to have things like that in game.
Which quest are we talking about?
Chef's Assistant. A simple quest focused around cheesecake.
Yep.
This new quest, it's just a short to medium. It's pointless. It offers nothing. But
isn't that what?
Yeah.
If we go back to the early quests that Jagex did, isn't that what the majority of them did? Unless you got up to the master.
Yeah.
It's
just a fun little story.
Ones. Yeah.
That it pulls on your heartstrings. It gives you something to do, and like it lets you interact with the citizens of RuneScape. It makes you feel like you're a citizen of RuneScape. You know.
Yep.
It brings you in and makes you feel like you're part of the world and that the world is alive. And basically, unless there's anything you want to cover under quests, I have gone through everything here.
Yeah. No, that's it. No, I'm really what's coming out. And as I said, if I get a little 15, 20-minute bottle-type quest like this every couple of months, I'm happy, I don't need... When I say I want 6 or 8 quests a year, I don't mean Slisko's Endgame style of quests.
Sure.
That type of thing. Little 15, 20-minute ones that are just little fun ones to do are fine. And that's why I've always said they need to just have a couple of bottle quests up the sleeve that, don't really have any timeline, just sit there on their own, that can be dropped in at any time. When they have a delay on one of their major updates coming, you can drop in a little quest like that, and that's what these things are perfect for.
Yeah, not every single quest has to be a grand master 6+ hour epic adventure. Sometimes you just need to find Granny Pottering's lost glasses down by the bog, Yep.
That's it.
Like, it doesn't have to be this masterful, epic quest for the world every single time. That little
quest we did.
Yeah.
That first bottle quest, that was fun.
Yeah, just a little coming of age.
Didn't have anything? Yeah, just a fun little thing.
Yeah.
And that's, and that's what Jagex RuneScape was always known for. I think sort of the last few years in Quest, they sort of lost sight of that.
Yeah.
But I think sort of the last few quests we've had, I think they've sort of realized that, and they're coming full circle where we're coming back to that type of thing.
I think for a while they just kept trying to one-up each other and just kept trying to, prove what the NXT, it's so powerful, it can keep, it can do this, it can do that. Well, like the vampire, people felt, I think, ripped off when they said how powerful NXT was, and then when the vampire fight, well, there wasn't one really,
One. But that, again, we've got to remember also they were limited by the amount of people still using Java at the time. They couldn't do exactly what they wanted to
do. Well, and I think that they've been held back a lot because they feel like that they have to keep doing these huge things, and they don't.
They don't. That's right. You don't have to do Grandma, as we said. Little quirky quests every now and then are fantastic. I mean, the You Are It quest last year, I absolutely
I would be perfectly fine with 1 Grandmaster quest a year and 5 small to large quests a year. In between, when I say small to in between, you could have 1 to 6 small to large quests. They could be 6 small quests. It could be 5 medium quests in one spot. You figure it out. It's not on me to figure out. All I'm saying is, like, one of them can be epic, but like pour your freaking heart and soul into one big one if you have to. But for me,
and even then, even if it's not, even if you've got a Grandmaster build up, so I mean, I understand what they were trying to do with that Scape quest line where. Yeah, they wanted to set it so it wasn't a 10-year spread like the Elf quest, but they forced themselves into a corner by saying we're going to do it all this year.
Yeah.
If you're going to do something like that, where you've got a quest line that's going to be 5 or 6 episodes deep, then spread it over 2 or 3 years. 10 years, yes, is extreme, but we don't expect it all in a year.
Yeah. I mean, Sliske's endgame. Go ahead.
Oh, so and diversity. I mean, by the end of it, it's like, oh, every quest is just about this type of thing. You like those little diverse ones that just off the track, little bottle quests thrown in there just to break that up a bit for you.
Sliske's endgame could have been probably a lot better than it was. Not saying that it was bad, but it probably could have been a lot better than it was if it was done. Yeah, if it was given probably 18 months development time instead of like 6 months or whatever. Anyway, yeah. Before we continue, where are we on the docket? Before we continue on to our next topic, I want to toss my little spiel in the middle, I think, here.
Yep.
I just want to see where my docket is even. Helps if I have it open, doesn't it? Yeah, we're on the TLDW, right? We just wrapped up with that. Okay.
So we're about to go into the forums.
Cool. That's everyone's favorite place. Anyway, so in lieu of doing the Skillshare ad, I figured I would introduce everyone to a project that I began work on a year ago and is finally ready to show the light of day on. I have a small teaser for an audio project. What else would I be working on? That I began working on for my grandmother and my family for her memorial, which of course sounds morbid, but it's a long project that kind of takes a lot of involved work, a lot of personal work, and a lot of dedication. So it just takes a lot of time to do. So it's easier to kind of show or listen than anything else. Anyway, I kind of best explain it in my mind as kind of like one of those like photo a day kind of projects, only in audio form. And then on top of that, I'm trying to just paint a picture of, what her life was like, and also, what dementia does, to a human being. So this project is basically to kind of shed light on that. And with that, I have, of course, the family permission to do that. And if you're interested, you can be a part of this project. But I'm going to do a little teaser here, and then I'll show the details. So it's about a 1-minute teaser. So stand by. I'll pop it up into my VLC player.
And it was messy and slow and
loud.
A dead body over there.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
You still want to take a walk?
Yeah, we'll keep going. Hopefully it won't be us. I love traveling down these roads because it's
Peaceful.
very quiet, right? You have trees on both sides. The noise is very kind of condensed by the trees, so it's very kind of quiet.
But I went for a walk yesterday,
Oh.
and it was in the afternoon, about 4 o'clock, 3:30 or 4. I just needed to get out and walk, so I walked down that street we just passed, came around the bend, and I got here and started to walk, and then I thought, I'm not sure I think I passed the road, and I went into a kind of a freak of thing. I don't know my own neighborhood.
Yeah.
What's the matter with me?
We got trucking. So, yeah, it's just a little project. That's just a little teaser of episode 1. That's actually, I think it's quite long. It's a little over. I think it's about 20 minutes or so. I'll bring up the website. It's magebit.me. I'll add my page here to the audio or to the video source here. So magebit.me if you're just listening to the simply the audio source. Sorry as I quickly clamber to change sources here on my video end here. But if you want to pledge to this specific project, what you would do is go to magebit.me and choose the Dementia Project and join that tier. It is a $5 commitment. What you get is audio moments of her and my adventures here, and then bulleted list events that summarize each project, and commentary for me explaining the things from a third-party point of view when possible or when needed. And then there's legal mumbo jumbo as well. So here's this episode 1 right here. So it's 30 minutes long. I lied. So episode 1's like 30 minutes long. No, this is currently still in raw state. So this is past number 1. This project's going to take. This has already taken me a year just to get to here. So this is going to take me still a lot longer to go. But I'm just to the point of getting to the audio into cataloging form. Like I'm getting it into my system here so I can actually bullet point it and figure out what's in each session, tag it, and then on pass number 2, I'll be able to break it down even further. Anyway, if you want to support me, you can. The proceeds are basically going towards helping me get better audio equipment. Right now I'm literally just recording with my phone. I'd like to expand and actually do video and stuff like that. Get better, audio equipment, all that mumbo jumbo. It would be better. I'd like to expedite the process at which I could record, all that fun stuff. Anyway, make sure to dump me if you want to support the project or any of my other stuff. I have tons of other stuff that you can support over here as well. I do poetry, micro blogs, tons of other crappy stuff. JK, it's not crappy. Anyway, back to the show. What do we got up next, Pern?
We have Fixing the Economy by ISO.
Read me in.
They want to bring in a minigame called Faction War because, minigames are so well loved in this current climate. But anyway, currently gear from PVM drops and smithing are crashing to elk prices, with the exception of the Masterwork, which has no elk value to even stabilize its freefall due to the mining and smithing rework. What we need is a sink with large GP returns, something like High Elk, though that in itself presents a couple of issues some players pointed out in another thread. 1. Many players argue about inflation. Seriously, though, this isn't the real world, so inflation shouldn't even be a problem. Why? How many of you in the real world see a giant-breasted chick called Alice whoring out millions of GP for nothing in return? How many of you in the... I love the dig at treasure hunt. How many of you in the real world witnessed alchemists turning scrap metal into piles of gold coins for a marginal percentage cost? In the real world, sure, that would be a problem, but we have yet to see the ill effects of all those gold injected into this game. Besides, if we worry about inflation too much, it doesn't matter what idea we can come up with to make mining and smithing profitable in conjunction with PVM drops, specifically for Masterwork trim, all the gear we get will become worthless pieces of junk. But if the RuneScape majority really vote against inflation, despite my arguments above, okay, let's take that problem into account. 2, this is not talked about as much, but gear getting a high elk value would defeat the purpose of its creation. Gear is made for combat, not for high elking, even though the latter is the one that determines the price of the item as of this smithing and mining rework. I'd advise something be done to give items a value as Viswax did for rune crafting, and if increasing the return from high alchemy really isn't the way to go, we need a system in place that can create an item sink in return for gold, then a gold sink for those that worry about inflation in return for new items or benefits. So she's started off that she wants to make a faction war minigame. Oh, actually, no, sorry, that goes to something else. So I'm going to click on that faction war minigame and just see what this is all about if it loads.
Create an item sync while rewarding participants purely with high coin drops according to skill and effort. This minigame will also create a gold sync for those who wish to push endgame, including gear aimed at level 93 and beyond, even if it means breaking 99 and entering 120 for magic, ranged, attack, and strength. Schedule. The minigame commences every 4 hours from reset time and lasts 3 hours. Players may join in anytime they want within the 3 hours and play as long as they like. Location? Space formerly occupied by mobilizing armies. That is some hot real estate right now. All teleports linked shall be renamed Faction War. Requirements. Players who like skilling and or combat. There are no quest requirements, though Sliske's endgame is recommended to understand the synopsis, which is derived from the quest's lore. Number of players, a maximum of 200 per faction and a minimum of 0 per faction. It's a good place to start. All sessions start on the aforementioned clock regardless of number of players participating on the instance server. In other words, the minimum does not just wait like World Event 1 and 2 Warbands minigame. Each faction uses an NPC ranking system. Yeah, don't mention how the World Events 1 and 2 Warbands worked for anyone who wasn't around for those, with each rank allowing a fixed number of NPCs, all except the lowest ranks, whose number substitutes for the lack of players in that faction. Should all players join, one of the lowest ranked NPCs will die at random to allow entry. Risk. This is a safe minigame, but all gear, including non-degradable gear outside of this minigame, used here will degrade. Gear degrades much faster also with accumulated deaths, as players can pay death to resurrect for coins. Synopsis. Having failed to pit the gods against one another thanks to the destruction of the Stone of Jas at the hands of the Dragonkin, Sliske schemes once again to bring anarchy amongst the gods. In doing so, he will need your unwilling assistance by using your soul he possessed before his apparent death. Under Sliske's subtle influence, you unconsciously reveal that while the Stone of Jas has been destroyed, its pieces, when combined, will retain the stone's original power, and you hold 3 of 27 total number of skills pieces, namely the catalytic fragments. However, this time, the stone's connection with the Dragonkin has been lost forever, rendering them free to let anyone do as they please with the stone. Although you yourself does not know this, good grammar, Sliske also hints that a few of the remaining pieces are getting assembled in Mobilizing Army Castle, which has mysteriously sunk, not beneath the waters this time, but in an unexplained pool of shadow. Of course, in one of Sliske's antics. Here, the god of victorious faction will be able to seize a piece, or more if lucky, one of the stones for himself. Consequently, most of the gods on the scoreboard are back in the game again for the Stone of Jas pieces, with you as the players are being the center of importance. These factions include Saradomin, Zamorak, Armadil, the Gradorians, remnants of Bandos, the Godless, remnants of Guthlix, Zeros, and Saren. Sliske, the followers of Sliske rejoice. Their god is still alive, of course. What they don't know is that he's merely possessed the player's soul, which is wonderful news. Sarcasm, of course. And materialized only briefly to initiate this faction war minigame, while the followers realize Sliske has no need for the stone except to cause conflict for his own amusement, which he is now doing. They, too, want in on the drama. Oh my god, I'm going to sip of water here. Hang on. She does tell us how to play here. Or they do, rather. How to play. Combatants. Start. Players may start at any one of the 8 faction camps once. There's 8 of them? Oh, yeah, I guess there's 8.
Yeah. The gods,
They fit them all in that tiny little... Once the minigame begins by entering the camp in the former mobilizing army's castle area, once inside, the players... Yes.
I just want to jump in here. If they're going to do something like this, I'd like to see it as an entire... If they're going to do it as an instance anyway, an entire world thing where, you play throughout the whole world. You've got to run around and teleport to all different areas. But anyway...
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, definitely, clearly. You get whisked away, she's there about to say. Whisked away to the instance server hosting the minigame. Players will be warned before entering that once a faction is selected, he or she may not change nor re-enter upon leaving until the current session is over. The Armory. Within each encampment that is in an armory where players gear up for combat and a rewards booth. Unlike other minigames, Stanley Limelight's podium does not appear here, as the minigame does not award Thaler. There are the core buildings out all other buildings Jagex wishes to add should they adopt my suggestions, and where players must go through before entering the battlefield. Apart from whatever Jagex wishes to furnish the armory with, there are 2 main features. A bank booth with a soldiery-looking banker in faction uniforms behind it, and a coffer with a sergeant positioned right next to it. Here, players can choose to deposit equipment and consumable supplies into the coffer, which will be used in faction's dispenser beside the gate on the battlefield. As long as the player has food remaining inside the coffer, the dispenser on the player's faction will provide it. The dispensers serve only players belonging to the faction its gate is in. The minigame provides no provisions at all. Everything must be supplied by the player via the coffer. Players will also receive... This is just dead on arrival. Tell you what. Yeah. Player provided equals dead on arrival. The minigame provides no provision. Like that right there. Minigame provides no provisions means dead on arrival. Players will also receive an in-game warning that once deposited, the equipment and supplies cannot be taken out, and will remain inside the coffer until the minigame is dead upon arrival, and the JMods have to give you the stuff back in the form of reward tokens that can then be used in other minigames in the form of reward enhancers, like they did with mobilizing armies.
Yeah, no, it's too convoluted. I mean, this would be a great separate little mobile game or something, perhaps. Something you can play on your iPad, 15-minute game on your iPad or something, but... I mean, you can't.
There's like 9 more. There's 3 pages.
I know. I know. I've just read down and just seen what she's going through and such. It's like it's crazy. I'd love to
ambitious
see something.
Is the word I would have used.
Ambitious, yeah. I would love to see something like World Event 2 sort of returned as a mini game.
World Event 2 was great.
Yeah.
I loved World of
that type of thing would work. She's just taken that and just blown it up 100 times into all these different things. I mean, she's put a lot of thought into it, and I mean, on paper it sounds great, but the people aren't going to do it. It's not going to really help with an item sync or a gold sync or anything like that.
Come join Magebit Industries. We have a place for you on my development team. Currently, we still need 24 more patrons before we begin. Even look at hiring you, fake hiring you even, but don't worry, we'll keep you in mind. There we go. I just made my mic so much better. All right, fixing the economy. Thank you for fixing the economy, though I do appreciate it. In the meantime, we fixed the economy. Now we will remove them. I'm just popping open a few more posts here.
Yeah, I'll read this one. This is by Gaspard, who says, just remove them. In all honesty, just remove stone spirits as monster drops. It's one less roll on junk and would be better money for PVMers without harming the Aura Bars prices.
If you remove them from monster drops, where would they be?
Exactly. For bossing, etc., add Luminite injectors or an improved version Anima injector to the drop tables. Something that would actually sell while also buffing smithing. May not be the best idea, but probably better than what we have now. Now,
he got one thing in that post, right? That it may not be the best idea. No, that it may not be the best idea.
I mean, I'm sorry, but as I said earlier, I mean, at the moment, we can't judge what's going on at the moment. I mean, you know, it's... We said last week, there's still 45% of players actively mining all the time. You know, whether that's just going down there for an hour or so, but, 45% of the players who are logging on are doing mining in some form or another when they come in. Everyone's trying to get their masterworks. There's an influx of ores and things there. From your rune down, there is just so much of that already in game, but we've got to give that a chance to go out. The prices of these stone spirits will go up because, as I said, miners are going to want them. They'll probably sell about half the price of what the actual ore is, maybe 60% of the price of what the actual ore is. It is good because it's something that we can sort of set the price on. I mean, we're not going to pay... if an ore sells at 1k, we're not going to pay 1k for that stone spirit, but we'll pay the 500 or 600 GP, something that's sort of fair. We can still make money out of using it, and they're making their money out of gathering it.
I worry.
I mean, we still need these sort of.
I worry skillers are weak.
Yeah,
that's true.
Worry. But it's just something that, I mean, I do think they're needed, and I think they have done it the way they have done it, properly. I mean, someone says down there, what am I supposed to do with these steel to addy spirits? They're effing worthless. Well, at the moment, yeah, they are, because there's so much of that in game, but it will, will change as time goes on. You were making way too much money at gargoyles and all that. I mean, seriously, to be making 2 million GP at gargoyles?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
Over.
Gargoyles was something that should never have made more than 400 or 500k an hour, and even that's being being sort of over generous.
You're not wrong. Like, I wish you were wrong, and I wish I could argue with you. But you're completely right. Gargoyles is like a level of like 40 Slayer monster.
Exactly.
They shouldn't be making that kind of money. That's just broken. Yeah.
People are saying they belong in a reward shop and things like that. No, they don't. This is what it is. You have had, I mean, and this is the problem where we need to now retrain all these Slayers, all these PVMers who, sort of go and kill Slayer monsters and the sort of the mid-level bosses and such. For so long, you've had it your way with making all this money, and that's the reason things cost so much. Part of the reason your bonds are 20 mil, part of the reason your party hats are 10.5 billion GP, because there is so much coming in because of what we've made with that. Slayer was making a good 20-25% too much. This is taken away. I did some testing down at Abbey Demons, and I was making 3.9 and 4.2 mil an hour still. Now take out those Addy and other drops, it dropped it down to about 3.5 mil if I took those out of it. That's really, for something I can sit in AFK, go and make coffee, fold the washing, do whatever while I'm sitting there killing them, that's more than enough money. Yeah, it hurts me bottom line. It's a million less an hour or whatever than I used to make. But as I said, those stone spirits are going to eventually go up. So, again, This is just people just want, There's got to be give and take, and I think these are really good, so...
So stop complaining and just hoard all your ore and just wait. Don't be cheap. Or sell it to Pyrnassius. If you're going to be cheap to Pyrnassius.
Well, that's right.
I'll never forget that day of like right before the mining and something rework where everyone's complaining. You're like, oh, yeah, just sell it to me. It's kind of. And then I was like, wait a minute, hang on.
And no one sold it to me, which I'm really glad of now because I didn't expect Rune to drop that quickly.
Yeah,
I thought it would have actually held its price for a good week or so as people were trying to get it. I didn't anticipate just how much Rune was out there for people to sort of start making to Elder Rune. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It just did not. Yeah. I had a bad time. I mean, I didn't have a horrible time, but I didn't have a great time either. There was really not much money to be made.
No.
And that made me sad.
The Elder Rune bars sold, right? But,
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Magic is... I am hoping, as we said, Elite Dungeons 3 will be a melee-specific boss. Much like, we've got... Let's look at it. We've got the first one was pretty much magic. The second one was pretty much range. So hopefully the third one's pretty much melee. Yeah, you've got your Ascension dungeon, which is all ranging. Got your magic-only Ganodermics and all that. So hopefully, we're going to start seeing more of these type of things that are specific to the combat triangle. So you're not going to do any damage if you try the other forms, or maybe you only do 10% damage. But if you go down there with your melee, you're going to do 100% damage. So that's what I want to see them looking more towards as we go forward. They don't need to convolute the EOC anymore by all these different perks or not different sort of abilities that the different weapons have. Just go back to boss affinities, monster affinities.
You heard it here first. You weapon homogeny. So we got increased alch value from Refresh 4.
One complaining? Yep.
The alch values of new smithing gear are way too low. So this is from the alch values are way too low part. The alch values are way too damn low party. Which means that almost all mining will be completely worthless within the next week or so. I've been hearing that for the past week or so.
I've been hearing that since 3 days after.
Yeah, right? That's the joke, basically. It's like I've been hearing that for the past week or so that it'll be worthless in the past week or so. The alch value of Bane gear is 4k per bar. Each bar takes 2 Bane ore to make, leaving each ore at around 2k each. On top of this, smithing is no longer instant, and now takes even longer to get that alch value. Each Bane ore will end up less than 2k. This is bad for a level 80 ore and complete waste of time. But
now,
okay,
let's just stop there for 1 sec.
Okay.
Bane is brand new out there, and that's why it's selling 6 or 7k at the moment. Because no one's got it. Unlike the Rune and Addy, there's no stockpile of that, so that's why it is so high. Yeah, Bane will end up around 2 to 3k a piece, and that's at level 80. I think that's pretty fair where it should be. You can mine around 300 of them an hour, so I think it sort of fits pretty much in its. Actually, you'll probably get more than that with all the perks, but just mining basically, I think it's around 300 an hour you get out of them.
Well, anyway. But Elder Rune is much better, right? No, it's not. Elder Rune costs 2 Anamika and 2 Rune bar per bar. Each bar is 10k alch value when Rune gear is alched. If we assume the Rune bar is going for 2k, an unlikely assumption given that nobody over 50 mining will make it unless they have to, or it makes more profit than other ores they can mine, that leaves Anamika at 4k each in alch value. To make 1.2 million an hour mining Anamika, you need to mine 300 ores. To get 300 plus ores an hour, you need to be an actively 4-ticking with a max mining gear during a Trahauer. This is garbage. Compare this rate to Ultra Hour of 2 to 4 million profit was expected, and this is the absolute best case scenario. Realistically, rune bars will be worth more than the Animica.
I'm not sure about that.
Listen, no one invited you into this conversation, Alexa. Realistically, rune bars...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
All right, well, I'm going to have to put Alexa on mute. Hang on.
Realistically, rune bars will be worth more than the Animica because nothing drops them anymore. And they are very low level ores. A waste of time to mine for XP. They would only be mined for profit. Extra bar chance is not enough to offset this. No, this will never be held up by Masterwork. T92 Masterwork degrades at half the rate and doesn't degrade at all on task, so the 600 ore upkeep cost is negligible if you factor in the cost of the time to smith it.
You know
As
what?
it is now...
I don't know how to help Refresh with his problem either. So...
No, so I do want to just finish
go
this. As it is now, once the hype of Masterwork dies down, the only thing that'll give the ore is XP is a game of near max players.
What?
How can this be fixed? The only thing that'll give the ore the value is its XP, and this is in a game of near max players. So, in other words, there is no fix for it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
How can this be fixed? Simple. Increase the elk value per bar. A further fix would be to make base gear instantly smithable, like it used to be. Too long didn't read. Increase elk value. Time investment or mining will be worthless. Now, I want to go back, I think it was about 6 or 8 months ago when Timbo was talking about elking and all that on the stream, saying elking is a broken system that they wish they had never had in-game because it injects too much gold into the game. That was one of the reasons they would stop people elking. You're not supposed to be elking.
Can you imagine if they turned off elking? It would be like turning off PKing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they can't turn off elking. But what they can do is slowly fix it over time where it's not really
they can choke
much
it
worth
out.
doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is pretty much what they're doing with this. This is the start of it.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that. What you want to do is you make it to the highest tier. Your Addies at +2, your runes at +3, go up to your Elder runes at +5, and you sell it to those those PVMers who want to get their max cape and such, where they can just take it down and get that instant. Like it's 20 seconds, turn into burial armor, and get on Elder Rune, I think it's about 25k XP drop. On just even on basic Rune, I think it's about a 12k XP drop to do burial armor. And that's where you want to be making money. You want to be selling this to those people who do that, or smithing it and doing it yourself and saving money. We don't need... Yes, we need something to make money. Masterwork hasn't worked out the way they have said it as such. But again, let's see what happens over the next 4 to 6 months with updates, what's going to happen, how we're going to improve the armor sets and such. This was a bit of a test. My thought of allowing miners a chance to try and get an essence through mining, your brilliant idea of reintroducing those mining shafts that they talked about when they first brought out mining, and having the essence available down there as a very rare drop. This is the type of thing we need to be looking at. That's where the money for us is going to come in. That risk versus reward. Go down into a high risk area for mining where you have a chance of death and losing everything. But you can jump out of there with an 11 or 12 million drop off those essences if you're lucky. This is what we need to be sort of looking at, working on. I'm mining Rune all the time because it's really quick to get now, and it's still decent money. You fill up your Rune. I think I got about 600 or AFKing in about 30 or 40 minutes. It's not hard to do, and that wasn't done in the old. So you're still making decent money off it. And it's always going to be needed for people making those elders, for people leveling up their smithing. There are still, we say it all the time. Not everyone's max. There are a lot more non-max players than there are max players, and they will want to buy that stuff to be able to do that. You just got to be smart, look at what's selling, keep your eye on the market. You know, Anamica might not be the way to make all your money, because that's where all that elder's going. You know, it might be that that your Luminite and your Rune is the way to go. Make those bars and crank those out. But Elking is not a good game mechanic. They have said it. They don't want to see it sort of continue on, and I fully agree with them. We need to curb the amount of gold that is coming into the game some way, and this is a good start for it.
Yeah, I would encourage finding alternatives to Alking straight up, and this is not the worst idea. And yeah, like Necrite and Phasmatite and stuff like that are needed to make Elder Rune, so people need to mine those. Like, those are going to have value as well.
Yep.
So, like, I think
the
Necrite,
new ores still have good value.
Yeah, like those in-between ores are going to have value as well. If you want to jump into the Revert Metal Porters, I will be right back. I just have to...
I can do that. This is by Foxy. He says, right now, the most efficient way of mining is with Juju potions and spirits. Not only is this completely AFK and better XP an hour than corrupted ores starting at Phasmatite, it's also profitable. But now, thanks to this useless update, I have to travel to a furnace first. Closest I found to a lodestone is Lumbee. Withdraw everything, and then go to the GE bank to sell and bank. This is way too many steps. Think about it this way. Prior to today's updates, the steps were Smith, port ores to bank, tally to Traherne, grab the ores from the bank, tally, walk to the furnace, and for selling, port ores to the bank, tally to GE, and sell. After the update, smithing, port ores to metal bank, tally to Traherne, walk to furnace. Selling, port ores to metal bank, tally to Traherne, work to furnace, grab ores from metal bank, tally to GE to sell. So we saved one step for people smithing and added 3 steps for people who wish to sell. Please revert this change so that you'll go in the bank, or at least add an option at the furnace for this. Edit. So a few suggestions have been put forward, but I think one that works best for everyone would be if the metal bank got added to the bank interface, like the Ango and the player-owned house.
Yeah,
so support for that.
All right, so we'll see that in 8 months.
Who cares? You have to take an extra 2 steps to pull the ore out because you want to sell it. Boo-hoo.
Do you still have to take every single ore out to take one ore out?
No, they've now got it. You right-click it and on whichever ore you want, take out X, take out all, take out...
Oh, all right. Then
whatever.
Calm your tits.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's not a...
I mean, you know, having to go out of my way to... Every time I want to sell something is a huge inconvenience.
No, it's... All right, it's a tiny, minuscule... It's like, you know, it's the difference between... like the escalator being like out of order and it's now stairs.
Yeah. But again, he goes on. Think about this. The way it works now. Prior to today's updates, the steps were for smithing. You had to port the ores to the bank, then teleport to Traherne to grab the ore from the bank, and then walk to the furnace. For selling, you just ported ores to the bank, tally to the GE to sell. After the updates, you port the ores to the metal bank, tally to Traherne, and walk to the furnace. Well, no, you don't. You just go to the artisan's workshop anyway. I don't know why you're going to Traherne to smelt your bars or do any sort of smithing. And for selling, you know, it's got to go. The portables take it to the metal bank. Then you've got to go to Traherne, walk to the furnace, grab the ores from the metal bank, tally to the GE, sell. I mean, you know, everyone's got a luck of the door. Quick teleport straight to the GE, or you're, you know, if you don't have the luck of the dwarves, you've at least got the, what's the one below it? The, I even forgot the name of it now, the Dragonstone one.
What's the gem below Dragonstone?
No. The ring below luck of the...
What's the ring below luck of the dwarves?
Yeah.
Are you such an part of the aristocracy?
I've just forgotten that. No. I haven't had my drugs.
He's such a plutocrat that he can't He can't even remember what the Ring of Wealth is, chat.
The Ring of Wealth. I was going to say Ring of Luck, but I knew it wasn't Ring of Luck.
Oh my goodness. I'm just being an asshole. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, come on, dude. Let's just stop with all the carry on. It you an extra 3 seconds to do it. Boo-hoo.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, it just people are just so entitled these days. It just shocks me that someone would even think like this.
I think that about humanity constantly.
Yeah. I mean, they could probably put an interface at the bottom of your bank for it. I don't think it's necessary.
Nah. Mining and smithing weapon diversity? Neglected? Stoic in vain? Hello? No. Part of the reason... Shall I go on? Shall I read this next one? Are we good?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Hello.
I like this.
Part of the reason why mining and smithing was created was to improve weapon diversity. That is not true. In some cases, this is true. No. I like how in
cases.
In his next line, he's like already defending himself.
No.
Like it's not even like
weapon diversity was totally separate to mining and smithing.
I like how it's not a debate, but in his second his second sentence, he's already treating this as if he's arguing it like a debate. In some cases, this is true. I'm not lying. In other cases, it has done the opposite. New weapons and armor can be made with the bars, which have slightly higher tier stats than requirements to wield them. I'm okay with this. What I'm not okay with is the fact that only the new weapons and armors have this benefit. Let's take Tier 60, for example, Orichalcum plus 3. Orichalcum plus 3 is the new best in-slot gear for Tier 60, because it has the stats of Tier 63 while only requiring Tier 60 in the attack or defense stat. This means that Orichalcum Two-Hander Warhammer plus 3, Orichalcum Warhammer plus 3, Orichalcum Offhand Warhammer plus 3, and Orichalcum Armor Set plus 3 is the best stuff to use for Tier 60. It outclasses all other Tier 60 melee stuff. Dragon Armor, Dragon Weapons, Zar Ket Alm, etc. So why would you use these anymore? Since they're now inferior. Maybe you don't have the friggin' smithing skill. Go ahead.
No, but again, dragon items are not smithable. They are the ones that retain the elk value. You use dragons for your elk. They're your money makers. Your orichalcum are your weapons of choice. And dragon, you hope to get dragon drops for elking value. Anyway, next.
Makes sense. We should be able to upgrade all weapons and armor in the same way so that weapon diversity remains, even though humans don't know how to upgrade dragon armor, have never been able to upgrade dragon armor ever in the history of Gielinor.
And even Linza, who thought was light, and that's why she's now a shade.
Yeah, she's dead.
The Barrow sister.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, go ahead. You try to upgrade some dragon armor and see how that goes for you. And I don't even know about Zar weapons. I don't think... I mean...
The Zar weapons are a straight drop, and again, they've got an elk value on them. You can sell them, but they've got a pretty decent elk value on them too. Or you trade them for runes to the guy.
Finally, I'm not suggesting that they must change in looks as they are upgraded, like the current new weapons and armors do. That just take too much dev time. I just want everything to be outdated due to the mining and smithing update. Well, I think Pern just basically told you why they're not outdated. They all have their niche uses. And I mean, I don't think we really need to go into any more detail. Were there
And
any...
I think some of the Dragon Warhammers and things, I think they have like, people use them because they've got like a special that takes defense down or something like that, which your T63s will not do.
Some people pop into legacy mode, take that Dragon Battle Axe down to your good old rocks. Mining.
Yep.
Speaking of mining and smithing update, more love for the mining and smithing update. Using the Dragon Battle Axe special to boost strength up. It's a free strength boost for a lot of people.
That's it.
Anyway, sorry to disagree with you, Stoic, but
and Orichalcum, is that isn't that, I don't know, but isn't that actually defense armor?
Orichalcum?
Yeah. Because they changed Dragon to power armor. I think Orichalcum was the new defense armor at T60.
I mean,
I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but
I would have to look that up. I thought that would make sense, because why else would you then have double?
Yeah, I think when they were talking about it, I think that's why Dragon got changed to power armor, because the Orichalcum was going to be defensive armor.
Let's see, an Orichalcum is defense armor, which is...
Yep, so there you go. There's your reason. So your Dragon armor is still better than Orichalcum anyway, even with its T60 or T63.
Yarg. Anyway... Continuing on, we're going to go ahead and agree with Sailor 2019 here.
We are.
And they say, Jagex, I really love the whole vampire quest line, and it has pushed me to do more quest lines, and I would really love to see at least a new quest for that vampire quest line. I believe the whole quest community would like to see at least one more, but a little harder than the ones that were a great big challenge, and I appreciate that this quest line motivated me to be pushed to do more. And honestly, I'm right there with you, Sailor. The Vampire Quest series is actually one of the big quest series that got me into wanting to do quests. It was the Vampire Quest series. The World Wakes was another big one that really got me into questing.
That was great, the World Wakes.
Yeah.
And While Gothic Sleep.
Yeah, While Gothic Sleeps was great. And
the Majorat one.
I almost broke my laptop because of Ritual of the Majorat, if you're thinking of that one.
I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad one. For me, apparently, I actually think that like that quest, puzzle wise, was not bad, but it was the Broves or whatever, like that part, and the boss fight at the end. Apparently now in NXT that boss fight is horribly bugged now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. For some people, not everyone, but just be careful. Trying to do Ritual of the Majorat if you're running an older machine. Basically, just buy a $5,000 computer to play RuneScape. Anyway, yeah, but I agree. I think I would have a lot more fun, and this is why, like, I know you were roasting me in the pre-show about talking about wanting to go back and do the Vampire Quest series, but one of the reasons why I was saying that was because, like, I have a lot more mood control than I have now than I had when I did a lot of these quests, and a lot of the reason why I hated quests was because of my lack of mood control. So I feel like I would enjoy a lot of quests now that I wouldn't, or that I didn't enjoy back when I did them originally, because I just had horrible bouts of rage that I just couldn't control, just at the drop of just a simple failure. And I really want to see what it would be like to not have that experience and just be able to fail and just keep trying and not be fettered by my own brain. but also still have all my stats intact, Jagex. So, like, you know,
which they did on that private beta server.
Yeah. I can't go back in time. Which is fair,
but yeah,
you know.
And I mean, again, that was one of the things though when in that Q&A last week, where people were asking for why can't we have more replayable quests and why can't all the new quests be made replayable? Yeah. And I said this Cisco's Endgame replayability. I think they said like 30 people have done it.
Sure.
In full. People have gone back and done the short version, but played the full version, like less than 30 people.
And Sisuke's replayability is in-game right now. I could go back and do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do Lord of Vampirium.
That was a great one.
I'll redo Sisuke's Endgame, I guess. But I honestly, if I'm going to redo a quest that has replayability, it's going to be... New Varric, what's it called? Dimension of Disaster. That is the best replayable quest in the game.
Oh, I love that. I did it the full 6 times to get my party hat.
I still need to finish doing that, and I will finish doing that. Is it only 6 times?
It increases your mining and your smithing.
I'm sure
when you get that done.
I'm sure it does. It's fun to do. I love doing that quest. I mean, that actually has a good boss fight at the end of it if you don't skip it.
Yeah.
Now that's actually you know what? That would be a good quest to actually test my my EOC medal on. Now that I actually know how to fight a boss, that would be
good one to stream.
Yeah, no, you're right. I should try that. I should replay that whole quest. As a medicated Magebit.
Just go to Gypsy Aris, get your little gold coin again, and go on.
I'm already mid it, so I'll just like finish it and start it over. I'll finish it on my own dime and start it over.
But yeah, I think the first time you do it, you've completed it once, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I completed like 8 billion times. Well, that's
that's okay. So you've got.
I was working towards
boost anyway.
Yeah, I was working towards the party hat, but I got bored.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, it's a grind. And, I love grinds, but then I was like, it's a fake grind.
Well, when I did mine, I think I did mine every week or two. I do it.
See, you're good at doing stuff like that. I'm the type of person who just grinds it out.
Do it. I know.
Hardcore. Yeah. Like, I'm an endurance grinder. That's why the ladies like me. Anyway, let's move on to the next post.
But yeah, Vampire Quest line, big thumbs up if we get another one out. Love to see that.
So this one, I aptly titled...
You're an idiot? Oh, sorry.
That's not nice. The Jagex International... Oh, no, this one, I'm sorry. If I jumped down a few, I think I have.
We're up to Christelle's one. The petition to remove Treasure Hunter.
Yes. This is the Jagex International Bounty Hit Squad now hiring.
Yeah, no, not that one.
No, not that one.
No, petition to remove Treasure Hunter by Christelle.
Oh, okay. I'd like to start a petition. Or you can read it if you like.
No, you go.
Okay. I'd like to start a petition to remove Treasure Hunter from RuneScape 3 and replace it with another system that would work better. Treasure Hunter doesn't matter how you look at it. It is straight up gambling. This is my opinion, and I'm holding on to it regardless of what you may say. It is overall bad, and not only for RuneScape, but also for players. As I have said in a post before, which is in a thread that was moved to a section no one could see unless they logged in, the Rants forum, I believe Jagex realized RuneScape 3 is running slow in terms of game progress compared to other games on the market, which mostly players could jump right in and start playing content. Content? I don't know. RuneScape 3, on the other hand, is much slower. And as I said in that post, if I had no idea RuneScape existed, I wouldn't have started it today and waited 2, 3, 4 years before I could join the endgame and be with the cool people. The cool people. I don't blame Jagex on this because I started out as a slow-paced community game, but it's not really a community game as it once was. The majority don't log on to be with quote-unquote friends. Instead, everyone is just after XP, because, of course, XP is a big part of joining the endgame. Instead of gambling on Treasure Hunter for XP, I suggest a new system that sells XP. Many of you might disagree with me, but I'm not a person of the past, and I think that in today's society, it is normal to integrate in real life and games. A, you work hard in real life, you make good money, you buy XP. B, you don't work, you make no money, you stay at home playing RuneScape, you gain XP through gameplay. This thread is solely my personal opinion, that's up for discussion. I don't think the term game integrity is relevant. In my understanding, people who dislike Treasure Hunter invented this term to make themselves special, aka I don't buy XP, I'm righteous and moral. To me, game integrity means I don't cheat.
I will agree with that last section. And I've said before, I mean, there's no problem with just selling XP on the Solomon store.
I can't find I actually can't find anything wrong with this post besides remove Treasure Hunter.
Then they tried a system to do that, and everyone screamed and carried on about it. Then,
I mean, wait, but if remove Treasure Hunter was remove Treasure Hunter and replace it with sell GP, sell bonus XP, would you be okay with that?
Yes. Because I've said all along, I would be, I mean, because I don't race, and I am probably different to the majority of players out there. I don't care about high scores, I don't care about racing, I care about having fun on my gameplay, which is why I won't just sit there. If I get bored doing something and grinding it out, I'll stop and go and do something else. I loved Livid Farm because I maxed it out over 6 months, because I'd go down there, do an hour or two, okay, I'm bored of this now, I'm going to go and kill something, I want to go do some farming, I'll just kick back and do some fishing, whatever. I was always jumping around the game, and sort of all my skills, I maxed out all my skills sort of within, I mean, woodcutting was my first, but my last probably 10 or 12 skills all came pretty much within 6 or 8 weeks of each other, because they were already up to that sort of 97, 98 area, because I just do bits and pieces at a time. But back to this, it's just selling of bonus XP where you can make your own double XP weekends. Nothing wrong with that at all. If if they said you can buy 100,000 bonus XP for 200 rune coins, no worries at all. Go for it. That's fine. I've always been a big proponent of I hate lamps. I hate just straight XP being given. But I think you've said it before where she's talking about, grinding away. Nothing wrong. If they want to turn around and start selling level 60 accounts for $100, so, you want to catch up with your mates quickly and you're working, yeah, okay, I'm going to drop, $100 and buy an account that's already at level 60. Fine, go for it. Do it. It doesn't bother me in the least, because the game is 18 years old. I've got no hope of making the top 10, and if I'm not in the top 10 on a high score table, I don't care. At the moment, I'm 762. Wow, who's ever going to look at anything between 750 and 800? Who's in that 750 to 800 bracket? Who cares?
To me, rank does matter, but at the same time, I understand where this post is coming from, and I know Treasure Hunter isn't going away. And yes,
it might.
You're not wrong. I did see that article about EA being forced to remove loot boxes in Belgium.
Yep.
I mean, EA, and to just kind of
they're being investigated here in Australia now,
side rail. Yeah, I mean, even to side rail into a loot box discussion off of this, because I mean, Tufty Power even kind of saying that, no support, like, I like Treasure Hunter as it is now. It's been a part of the game for so long that I can't even think of it being removed or replaced by anything else. Like,
that's pretty well written for it. That's pretty well written for a
for right, for a tree. Yeah, I know, for an AI. They're learning. I just
Sorry, Tufty, you're just too quick about taking things out.
yeah.
And I just to let everyone know, I am a bit pissed at Tufty Power at the moment because I found a brilliant post in the it was in the compliments area, and I posted it, and I thought I should actually take an actual screen grab of that one. I thought, no, we'll be reading it soon. It will be fine. Magebit goes to log onto it, and he'd locked it.
Yeah, locked and hidden.
Locked and deleted and hidden. Yeah, it's it.
Not moved, just destroyed. You gotta get a mod on the inside. I'm telling you, you need to. There's just not enough of them. The F mods are way more high horsey. They gotta get off their freaking terror birds.
Can I read my most hated forum poster?
Yeah.
His response, and that is Blackwing.
Sure.
Now, this is the guy who every patch week thing. It's none. Where's our updates? And he's an OSRS player. We found out. So he just whinges about everything RS3. So he says, in general, I'd agree that selling XP without gambling involved is better than selling XP via gambling. But not only is not selling XP at all even better, but your OP's posts also seems to contain quite many illogical points. 1. You seem to arbitrarily want RuneScape to compete with other instant gratification games, even though there's a market for the opposite type of games. Just look at OSRS for one. And RuneScape was intended to fit that market, rather than the if you don't want to play or don't have the time to play, just pay to skip most of the gameplay. As it is, RS3 doesn't stand a chance against other games in the instant gratification category because its graphics are inconsistent and generally not up to today's standards, as well as the combat system suffering greatly from the 0.6 second tick system and tile system. There's a reason why RS3 has steadily kept declining over the years, because it doesn't fit the slow-paced market anymore, and it's not good enough for the fast-paced market. 2. Even though you try to shrug the game integrity thing as unimportant, reading along the lines, I'm getting the image that you think it, as long as something isn't against the rules, it's not cheating, which is why it feels to me like you think buying XP isn't cheating. If I read that correctly, that's just plain sad. Getting something prestigious in a game without playing the game to get it, whether against the rules or not, is and always will be cheating. You might not get banned or otherwise punished for it, but in common sense, it is cheating. How is the second option even a consideration from your part? You don't agree with the gambling aspect of Treasure Hunter, but if you removed XP from Treasure Hunter and kept whatever remains in there, Treasure Hunter would still be disgusting gambling in a video game played by children. Overall, when a game is already monetized like RS3 is with membership, MTX has no place in it. MTX belongs to free-to-play games only, since they have to profit somehow. Now, swapping your RuneScape Gold to OSRS Gold, that's cheating then, as far as I'm concerned, which this guy has done. He was in another post about trying to get some gold swapped. He's
cheater.
He's just a moron.
Yeah.
He's just a moron.
He's a contrarian. He just wants to argue. Yeah. He's just
that's right.
Yeah, he's a shit.
He loves old school RS. That's fine, but don't sit there and bag this game, mate.
Yeah,
it's not cheating. Bonus XP is always something that's there. I ask him, does he play those mini games that give him bonus XP over there? That's cheating because it's bonus XP coming into the game.
There you go.
Not through a mini game, but it's still bonus XP.
Listen, me going to work and play, that's a mini game.
But I just love
paying for membership.
The RS3 has kept steadily declining over the years. So it hasn't. Just look at the numbers. It's on an increase again. The only reason that OSRS jumped up so much recently is because they got their mobile game out before us. And, once we see mobile come out, I am really hoping, and I really expect to see similar jumps in numbers.
Me too.
Your complaints about the graphics, they are fixing those up slowly. You are looking at an 18-year-old game. You don't want to talk graphics, mate. Have a look. Do you really want to talk graphics on your game compared to this game? Even the worst area looks better than the graphics over there. So, yes, you love OSRS. That's great for you, and I'm very happy you have a game to play. I love RS3 and love it the way it is. So, you know what? I won't say it because I don't want to get an explicit rating on this podcast. But you know what
Thank
what I mean.
you. We've been good so far.
We have, and I was the one broken.
Yeah, that's because you're missing your meds.
I really am. Yeah, that's why I had to.
We're almost
when it was spasms. I had to just lay down on the bed for a couple of minutes.
We're almost done.
We are, and this is. Can I read this one because I really love this one?
Yes.
This is by JMant530, who says, "How to fix comp cape." They need to make it so all the people who have a comp cape sitting in their banks can wear it. If you have achieved a comp cape once, you should be able to wear it forever. It's not fair for us to have to keep up with the forever updates. It will be harder for people in the future, yes, but for us people that have done everything already, we should be able to wear the cape we earn. People who do all the content early should be rewarded more than the people who do the content years later. This is very important to me. I have a comp cape and can't wear it. So yeah,
I'm just picturing a really angry guy with like a limp cape in his hand, just like, I have this cape that I can't wear it. He's just like shaking this piece of fabric.
I just imagine him as like someone who suffers from SMS. He's a little 5'1" tall guy, those little angry men just staring up, going, "It's not fair." Only thing I have to do, he goes on down here because people are complaining about it. Only thing I have to do is Solak and Elite Dungeons and probably a little of the player-owned farms. But I earned that cape over 10 years of hard work. They just keep adding stuff forever. It's not fair. This is the most updated game in the world, I think. I was wearing comp cape the day before Solak come out. A team achievement can't get solo. Hey. So yeah, you're playing, it's called a living game. Now, if you didn't get updates every week, you'd quit the game. You wouldn't still be playing it 10 years later.
I don't, yeah. Like,
Nexus Origin comes out with the best thing. You are well aware that comp cape required upkeep when you got yours. Removing the need to complete all the content doesn't fix the comp cape, it breaks it.
Pretty much.
I just loved his, he's stomping and stamping up and down, just a little small man syndrome type person.
It is pretty funny though. It's like, turning off the need to complete things on the comp cape basically makes it the antithesis of a comp cape.
But I got in early and got mine, so why should I have to keep doing things that other people have to do? Hey, I started working early. I've paid my taxes. Why should I have to keep paying taxes now? You've got new younger people coming up.
Gosh. Reset RuneScape account by Super Ben. Super Ben saying, "Is it possible to reset an old school RuneScape account?" I'm not going to sing the whole thing. I had an account. It's actually quite long. I had an account which I created in 2005, I think. But last summer it got banned because of botting, and I had no idea why. That was because I never did use a bot. The username was, in fact, Super Ben. After an appeal, they say my account was really botting, so I could never use it or get it back. So I was not happy. Yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't be happy about that. After I became member, I got banned again. Sorry, it's like blindsided me with that statement. I don't know.
That's why I love this one.
But now with this account for botting an old school RuneScape, and I never even played old school RuneScape with this account. So I sent in an email and got my account back since there was no option to appeal the ban. But now I want to try the app, and guess what? It seems someone did bot with my account because I was standing somewhere cutting logs with 78 woodcutting, and I never logged in before in old school with RuneScape with this account. The password of Super Ben and this account were the same, so it's the same account. That will be the reason why I'd get quote-unquote hacked on both accounts. Now I lost Super Ben, and I got this account left with high security this time. I'd love to know what his idea of high security is. But now I want to try old school again on my phone, but I would like to start from the start. It's a good place to start, but not what a bot did. That doesn't feel right. So is it possible, there's some nobility in Super Ben. He's really super. Good for him. He's naive.
He got hacked, yeah. He's probably genuine that I got hacked.
Yeah.
Stupid and hasn't secured his account.
Yeah, he's naive, and he had a bad time.
Naive. Yeah.
No, he just had a bad time on the internet. Let me see here. Hang on. That doesn't feel right. I just love that, like, Super Ben, and then, like, someone with, like, a wrestling mask comes in. Like, give that wrestling mask to Super Ben. But unfortunately, you are stuck with those levels.
Community manager Nick has come in and said there is no way to reset on old school. See, just one way.
That's not true. It's like super not true. They can do anything they want to your account.
Could, yes.
Yeah. That's a lie. They can edit your account left, right, up, down. They're just not going to.
And that is why I've always said that, lifetime bans are just stupid. I would give rollbacks on their stats, and if someone's been say you've found someone who'd been botting mining, and they started a bot at level 70 and were botting, they botted it up to 99 and such. Roll their mining back to 0. They have to start it all over again. Give them a 30-day ban and a reset on that stat, and maybe take 10 levels off everything else as well as a bit of punishment to learn not to do it again.
Manual modification of a character is no, like, easy speezy walk in the park, so I understand why. Like, it's not like, I don't want to randomly type on my keyboard in, like, a random window. I'm just going to edit, snap off 10 levels here. Like, when you edit, like, the save data of a character, it has to propagate out to every single RuneScape server, and, like, it's not just one, it has to. Luckily, it's a hot fix.
But if they did reset, like, the skill that was botted in, that would be feasible. That would be,
yes, it's feasible. But it's a hot fix. It's a hot fix to the servers. It requires actual, like, what do you call it? Update manager time work. Like, you'd have to probably bother Mod EC or one of his underlings. Like, it requires way more work than it should. Than I'm guessing, unless they have upgraded their systems in the past 6 years.
But where you're going on about the sort of server, you're going to cop a 14-day ban or a 30-day ban anyway. So if your thing's locked, and they come up, okay, we reset that. It doesn't really matter because if it's somehow linked to the the Monday updates when they sort of do everything, it can all go in there if it's possible. And I think for them that would be sort of.
My info could also be super outdated as well, because it's 2019. I haven't they could have super updated there. Like, you've seen. Also, on the flip side, look at the maintenance they've been doing to the Australian servers. You tell me if you think they've updated anything in the past 6 years.
Very rarely to the Australian servers because I get better response from the American servers.
Like, I don't know what they're doing with their tech. Anyway,
that's why World 65 is our home world.
Yeah,
when most of this clan was Australian.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine so. I don't even know where
this was always our home world because it ran better than World 49.
Where is World 65? Is that
is it West Coast? No, it's East Coast, I think.
It runs perfectly for me. That would be why. All right, let's play everyone's favorite game. Is it real world trading? All right. What is this? Is this someone's? All right, let me punch this into a Roman numeral generator. I swear to God, this looks like Roman numerals.
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it? Yxvim.
Yeah. Like,
but W's not a Roman numeral, I don't think.
I don't think it is either.
No.
Okay, it's not. No. Never mind. Yeah, is it real world trading? If I give friend gold for translate idea about new PvP arena my sign, this is real world trading? If I giving gold for new players invites into my clan with yes, basically. Gold for services is real world trading.
Yep.
Is the straight,
regardless. Yeah.
Yeah. the straight and simple. If gold is disappearing into thin air, then yes, that is real world trading. Like if the trade on the other end seems to be wildly uneven, if you're, yeah. That's an easy one to answer. Petition to remove treasure hunter. We got that one out of the way. Where are we at? Misunderstanding? My favorite? No.
Well, again, it's obviously they say text translate from my language to English, so I don't know, but text about RuneScape. Better pay real money to translate text, but text about RS, so real world trading. Guess I must punch him in the face to do translate for free.
What?
Down below, they've paid someone to change to type it for them from their whatever language there is into English. So he said, if I can't give them gold, I have to punch them in the face to make them do it for free, translate for me.
You just give it to them as a gift, like 2 days later, for no apparent reason. Simple as that. All right.
That's funny.
I'm not endorsing real world trading. Get out of here. Get out of my head. All right, where are we at, Pern? What's the next one?
We are Jagex International Bounty Hunter Hit Squad, now hiring.
All right. Is this my favorite topic? Let's see here. Petition to remove treasure hunt. Yeah, this is. All right. I'd like to start a petition to remove treasure hunter. Yeah, this is her petition.
Is that into? But you've got petition to remove bounty. Hang on.
Yeah, it is.
You've got the same link twice.
Yeah. That's what
No. The bounty hit squad one. There was another one.
Yeah, we lost it, didn't we? And then I must have double linked it. Oh well.
Oh no, I think the hit squad one was the one that Tufty took out.
Yeah. And then I must have accidentally linked that one twice. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh, but that was so Tufty. I hate you. Bloody artificial intelligent bots running on the bloody websites.
Yeah, they must have some secret. They put all their good technology into like
Tufty Power Bot.
Yeah, figuring out how to like detect where the wrong posts are. Anyway, we have
a case of voyeurism,
yes.
And I'm going to let you read this one.
Yes, this one's from Alex the God. This is really weird. I don't really know what to make of this. It's simply titled Misunderstanding. And I'm going to creatively act this out here, I suppose. Hello, Jagex staff. I forgot there was a time where my account was hacked, and maybe when this whole real-life trading thing took place, I would never risk my account. I have been playing RuneScape since I was about 11 or 12. 13 plus. But I have been enjoying it every day since, and I don't get to play a lot because of work, but, I try to make the most of it when I can, and I'm really sorry about the whole situation, but honestly, I knew nothing of it, and I only lost it a few times, both RuneScape and also old school RuneScape, so please, allow me to just keep playing. I understand both my accounts are on watch, and I understand. I am also very comfortable with it. Sincerely yours, Alex.
He loves being watched.
I don't know. I don't know, Alex. I don't know, buddy. This is a weird thread. And then everyone just posts, I understand. I understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's just a really weird thread.
Listen, I know I sort of real traded and maybe botted a little bit, but I didn't really understand the whole situation at the time.
Can you just keep an eye on me?
Just allow me to keep playing, and I understand that, if you want to watch me, that's fine. I'll even install a camera in the shower for you.
I've been naughty. Just trade a little bit.
I've been a naughty boy.
We have one final topic for the day. I hope Twitch chat is broken, because I don't know. But we have one final topic for the day. Let me check.
The one that broke Magebit at the start.
Yeah, that was great. That made me. I literally, in the pre-show, made me nauseous when I read that. I was like, what the hell is going on there? You were going to just throw that one away. You don't know what tickles my fancy. I was like, this post got weird real quick.
It did.
Anyway, we have a submission here. This one comes from our informant. This was a back end submission, a help submission, for an account recovery request for RuneScape, and it says here they submit their account name. And it says, the title is simply, "Please, for the love of God, help me." Which is, I shouldn't be laughing. They're obviously quite desperate, and you'll see why, obviously. And I actually kind of feel bad because I laughed really, really hard at them,
as you would.
I only laughed at the title, not the actual body, but. I used this account to play RuneScape 2 era right when the graphics update beta came, and you couldn't play with the updated graphics unless you were a member. I used my mother's cell phone to pay for that month's of membership. Phone used was... Yep, they have submitted their phone number. Don't do that. Don't submit your phone number to anywhere. Just no... Nowhere.
And this wasn't even officially on RuneScape.
Yeah, this isn't even RuneScape.com. But don't even submit it to RuneScape.com. Unless it, is a secure contact form. Many years pass now, and I want to log into my old account. To then realize I owe you guys money to some bad payment or something. I can't remember ever going on some payment plan. Probably because I never did. Anyways, I go ahead and pay that $15 to unlock my account. I then check out my old stats in the game for a few minutes and then log out. The next morning, log back in. My account is banned from macroing. What the F is even macroing? From 2017? Bruh. I stopped playing in 2010. I don't even know what a macro is. I simply want to use my old childhood account that I even paid you guys to unlock using some sketchy payment method that I now regret paying at all. Since I don't even have my account, it's banned. I never did anything to get my account banned. How is this possible? I want access to my old stats, please. I don't know how else to explain this. I just logged in to find my account has been locked and that it's been fine. I'm sorry, and that it's been fine many years. but then I get randomly banned for whatever macroing is. This isn't right. You guys just waited for me to pay off some random debt, then ban it? Just please help me, please. The stats aren't even good. They're just from my childhood. I mean, clearly.
Well, macrobiotics in this day and age, I mean, come on, mate. I mean, seriously, if you keep falling for those ads about macrobiotics, you're going to get banned and kicked out of things.
Oh, man, yeah. You stick to your carbs. That's all you got to worry about. Just worry about your carbs. No. But obviously, what happened here was, membership was obviously put on with a fraudulent account that got rejected. Then you got a J-Coin balance, a negative on the account. Luckily, it was only like a month, like $15. Not even a month, actually. That would only have been like a week.
That would have been, no, $15 would have been 2 weeks back then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. Sorry,
$7.50 a month. Yeah.
So not even that bad. And then you paid that. So you paid that off just to even get access to the status of your account. Yes, that is true. That is just the unfortunate reality of how that works. However, that's not the end of your story. If you're listening to this, I don't know why you would be, because you don't even know what a macro is. So you wouldn't be listening to RuneScape Weekly, of course, but for anyone else out there, you would be able to contact support the correct way and let them know, and submitting yourself to a proper ban appeal after paying off this debt, which they did, you would get approved, your appeal would get quashed, and you would be in game. You know, it probably would take 30 days or so, but, you know,
That's right. If you haven't played since 2010 and it's been botted on, they can quite easily check IPs and computer numbers and such and work out that, if someone has done that. So that would be fairly simple for them to realise, and definitely they would unlock it and give you your account back. If what you say is legit.
Yes. If this story is on point, then if you've paid your debt, then they will simply unlock your account. I mean, especially if your stats are, menial, and you have no real impact on the game. Even if you did macro, they'll likely give you a slap on the wrist and be like, all right, here's a second chance. You haven't been playing for the past 6 years. Okay, 9 years, 2010, you say? Sorry, where am I? Again, I have no concept of time. I live in a freaking recording studio. You turn me on once a week, and that's literally all I exist in. Like, anyway.
The Magebit pot. He's the Tufty Power 2.0.
Basically.
He just types everything out. You can actually speak the...
But they generally will give you a second chance with stuff like that, even especially if it wasn't you who did it. But you also have to make sure you send that stuff to Jagex, limited.
Yes, always send those things to Jagex, not to a third-party forum post.
Yeah, to send it to the correct website. But cool. That was your episode of RuneScape Weekly.
Did we have a question?
Did we? Oh, that's right. Thank you for making me not forget it for this week.
I sent it to you in that I thought you might have missed it.
Good, because thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna make you run down them now. All right, so R.A. Echo's got some questions, doesn't he?
Yes.
Right, we're gonna run through them. So these are I wish I could make my font bigger. Why are these in 11? Hang on 1 second. Let me just make this like 16. All right. Do you like the mechanics bossing style? I believe these were in reference to Pern. Were these in reference to anything in particular? Do you remember?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Let me see here. I wish I had RA Echo with me. Let me see here. I did no pre-prep on them here. Would you be open to bossing in another format, but obviously make it still possible for original choice depending on the player for bossing to be a mechanic or not, to keep bossing a challenge? Would you... Okay, as far as like how I believe bossing goes, as far as like how bossing works in game right now, mechanically speaking. And finally, would you think Jagex will look into this?
So he wants to change bossing mechanics, does he?
I believe he wants our opinions. Do you like the current mechanics of bossing styles?
I mean,
Like
I don't like group bosses, so I'm probably not the best one to ask, because a lot of the high-end bosses are sort of group bosses now. I don't mind the mechanics. I don't play a lot of video games, so I am just so used to this. The 0.6 tick system is just something I know. It's just natural to me now.
Well, I guess here's a good place to start then. So I guess, do you like the current bossing style in game?
Yes.
So for me, well, what are the current? Let's start here. What are the current ones? Right? We have solo, we have groups, we have, and that's basically it. You can go solo.
EOC, obviously, they
Yeah, and then there's
having the usabilities and things like that, and actually think about it.
As far as in bossing, are there any bosses that you can take seriously in Legacy? Besides, I mean, there's God Wars Dungeon, right? I guess you could do God Wars Dungeon in Legacy. I don't do any group bosses. I won't take any group bosses because it's like I won't do them because of the tick system. Basically, I feel like I can't get used to the way the game runs, and I think everything boils down to that. I can't get involved around that. Like, I play other games, and I would rather feel like the game environment or the player has warped around me rather than the environment has been sluggish or something. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I would rather be misplaced in the environment than the environment misplace me. I hate feeling like I can't go somewhere. I don't know. The tick system is very hard to explain.
Because the tick system's like it's like that sort of 0.6 second lag. If you click,
I would rather be put back.
The tick system, you're stuck there for a minute, and you've got to click. And that's why most of the times when I'm fighting a boss, I'm quite often always sort of double clicking.
I would rather be rubber banded. Than I don't know. I have a really hard time with the tick system. It's not that I can't learn it. I don't like it. And I know that they apparently tightened some of it up recently with apparently they didn't really tighten up
Revolution.
They tightened up Revolution. Which I haven't personally tried, so that's not fair for me to complain about too much.
Which it actually does. I mean, you do sort of move quicker, and sort of things seem to fire off, and the graphics run a lot smoother now than they did if you sort of moved while you were sort of firing off an ability and such. For myself, as I said, I mean, this is pretty much the only game I play, so. The combat system I hated in pre-EOC, that thing of just click, just make sure you drink your potions, try and prayer flick if you had to, clicking all that to me just wasn't real fighting. Now where, what's the best ability to fire off next, get that done, have your different ones, your different thresholds and such ready at the right time and things. I like that. I quite enjoy that. But again, I am only solo. I don't like group bosses for a simple fact that I don't like letting other people down. I know I'm not the greatest fighter, and I know I make mistakes. I don't want to sit there and be with someone and then stuff their game up at the same time.
Thank you for the Death Star. I appreciate that.
Yeah, 11 months in a row. Well done.
Nice.
So that for me is that to me is the problem with a lot of those bosses having that group mode. What I would love to see, and I don't know how hard it would be, that they just scale the bosses. If there's 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, I think every boss should be able to take up to 5, 6, up to 10 people if you want to. It just gets a lot harder with the more people you bring in. So you're not just going to rip him apart. Like, the original God Wars dungeon was designed as a group boss, but I mean, you knock them all down in 15, 20 seconds solo now when you're sort of max level. Obviously, just power creep. And, in 5 years' time, we'll be doing the same thing at Telos and Virago. People will be just going and soloing Virago very simply. Next Angel of Death. I mean, I can see in 5 years' time. Oh, no, actually, I think they protect against soloing with the different mechanics that they have in there and such, but which I think is silly. I think, eventually power creep should make older bosses solo. Mechanics-wise, though, as I said, the new bosses, the way they work with different, they'll have different mechanics, different abilities, the things you have to watch out for. But again, most of them are very learnable because they'll do the same pattern over and over. So
I'm having a lot of fun with the combat mechanics at Elite Dungeons 2. I know that they are probably rudimentary, compared to something like, Telos. But if they could gear things more towards that level, they would catch me more. I think that mechanics that they were putting in those boss fights, for whatever reason, worked with the tick system better. I don't know why, but for whatever reason,
I'll tell you exactly why.
Okay.
Because basically you are limited to a tick system, and they're trying to bring in mechanics and do things on something. They're trying to have mechanics work with a tick system that just won't work with a tick system unless you're an elite raid PVMer, which is fine. But you're making, for 0.5% of your community, you're making all these high end bosses with the best drops and such. You're locking out 99.5% of your community on those because, for like yourself, a lot of people have issues with the tick system, and mechanics that aren't designed for a tick system that you try and force into it are never really going to be great for people. You can't put a square peg in a round hole.
I would like to see. I'm really open to see what they do with Elite Dungeons 3. If it's more of the same, I'm cool with that. If it's a little bit of a ramp up in difficulty, I'm also cool with that, as long as it is more of the same within the constraints of the tick system. They need to work more within the constraints of the tick system. Make bosses with puzzles. Make bosses that do. And I know then once you figure out the puzzle, though, it becomes it's broken at that point. But I thought that, the mechanic of the ice ball, right? Or the ice shock poison ball, right? For instance, it says here, would you be open to bossing in another format, but obviously making it possible for the original choice depending on the player for the bossing mechanics or not. So you can do that mechanic, right? Or you can just straight up use resonance on that, right? So for me, I prefer to do that mechanic because I like to. It gives me confidence in just okay, that's something I can do. It's better for me. But other players, it's faster, it gets the fight done quicker, and it's more efficient for them and whatever. So to their point, yes, it's still possible for them to do their thing, but it gives me an accessibility option, right? It makes the fight a little bit easier for me, and at the same time, there's still an advanced option, a way to kind of get through the fight faster if you are a little bit better. So I think if they're able to make mechanics like that on a more consistent basis, they'll be hitting the sweet spot more consistently. But the thing is, doing that consistently, it's not easy. Good.
That's it. It also depends who's right boss. I mean, Ramen wants to always try and push those things, and I think he does sort of misfire a lot of times on those type of things. Whereas, Elite Dungeons was done by a totally separate group, and they are, they know what constraints they have, and they have worked within those barriers. They haven't tried to do anything that is going to, push past that, and I think. I mean, Rama might be a very good programmer, but I think he sort of tries to push beyond the barriers, and that's where a lot of the issues on these things come up. He's the one trying to. I think Mod Crisell used to be the guy who made the bosses, and everyone loved just about everything he ever brought out. I think the thing with Ramen, he is trying to push things that that shouldn't be pushed.
He definitely has his cadre of elite PVMers that he wants to appeal to.
That's right, yes.
He has his base that he's afraid to lose, for sure. Death Star saying the most fun thing I've ever done in RuneScape in the last couple of years is learning how to raid in a group. I found RuneScape Glory and Gold's raid team, and we only deal with people that are 1, nice, and 2, willing to get on Discord, and 3, teach anyone that has the minimum requirements. Learning to beat a challenging boss has been very humbling and rewarding. Yeah, I have not been able to touch Yakamaru yet. That's awesome.
What if I 3 of the 2 requirements? I'm willing to get on Discord and I'll teach anyone that has them. If I have the minimum requirements, I've got those. I'm just not a nice person.
Oh well, we tried. We're working on it. We're working on it. We got to get him back on the pills.
On the pill, no, on.
Let's
I
see.
ain't no woman needing the pill.
Number 3, to keep bossing a challenge. What would you replace mechanics with these for those? So that's kind of where I was talking about like mechanic gating, where like you offer like I kind of called it an accessibility option, where I was referring to like that poison ball resonance option. It's a very basic option, but even so, like I guess I could take another fight that I am familiar with that I could maybe modify, right? Because I'm infamous for, thank you very much for the follow, Caspel. Appreciate that. Welcome. The Araxi fight, right? Yep. I'm horrible at all boss monsters, right? But mainly the auto exploding spider, right?
Yeah.
If there was maybe a way to like plug up Araxi's butt with some like tissue paper.
They fall from the ceiling.
Oh, all right. Retooling. I don't know.
And again, I mean, and that goes back to part of that tick system. I mean, I love fighting Araxi, but I'll still sometimes die to that exploding spider because I'll see it. I'm getting off an ability, and by the time I click away, the tick system gives me that sort of delay. I haven't realised I'm clicked away, and I'm sort of double clicking and such, and put myself back into it and things like that. I mean, that is more to do with the tick system than the actual mechanics. So the mechanic of it is good, but they need to work within those boundaries of it's a 0.6 second.
And again,
give it a little bit longer.
Alleviating those extra mechanics for someone like myself. Now, that boss is so old, it doesn't make the money that it used to. Killing those mechanics, those extra mechanics, for entry level like myself isn't going to really do much. But adding accessibility options like that into your bosses where those spiders are in the fight for your
half health rather than your full health.
or they're in the fight for your high tier players, but not your low tier players. But when they're in their fight, the loot is much better, or it's hard. It's a hard concept to explain on the spot because I haven't refined the idea. But go ahead.
Mimic is the Mimic boss is probably the best way where you have 4 tiers of it.
That is a good example. Yeah. The Mimic boss is one example where it just straight off doesn't, or even just modes, just tiered modes in general. I believe Elite Dungeons is going to be one of the first dungeons where it's going to have hard mode and story mode in general. Like, I think. Good morning, Jester. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I believe.
Well, Elite Dungeons 1 and 2 both have a
story
mode.
They do, but I believe that number 3 is supposed to have the first, like, easy, medium, hard or something. Like, something different. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's not easy, medium, hard, but something different, and I might be completely wrong on that. But there's supposed to be some sort of architecture, and they spilled the beans by accident, and that's why I'm, like, half talking about information that I'm not supposed to know about, because they talked about it by accident on a live stream, and then they were told to zip it halfway through talking about it.
Sure.
But, yeah. I'm very interested in hearing about this, like, dungeon system that's going to have, like, basically a 3-tiered system where you have, like, your story mode, your easy mode, and your hard mode, basically. That sounds perfect to me. And that is really what I want for the future of dungeons. A story mode so you can just run just infinitely through. I'm just looking for lore books. Leave me alone. Then you have your easy mode. I'm looking to learn mechanics. Give me somewhat of a challenge. And then you have your hard mode. I'm a PVMer. I want a full challenge, and I'm looking to make money. And then go.
No, so that's what I loved about the Elite Dungeons when they first come out. The story mode was still difficult enough. I mean, it was like, I think it was 50% damage when it was first released, then they lowered it to 33. Now they've lowered it to 10%. 10% is just way too low. But again, as you said, if you're just going in there for your books and such, that's fantastic. If they did have like a beginner's mode where you ran in there, you learnt the mechanics, all the hits were nerfed down to 50% or that 33%. Your rewards at the end are also reduced, by that amount. But you get to learn the mechanics before you go up into the proper mode. That would be an absolutely perfect way to do things.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, what is on? What's the next part of the? Finally, what do you think Jagex? I think that is what I think Jagex is doing. Is this lore system where it's like increased lore book, monsters aren't really doing much. Then you have your whatchamacallit,
easy mode or mid mode, beginner's mode.
Yeah, beginner mode where it's like, hey, the monsters aren't giving you much of a challenge, but also like this is shit loot. And then you have your like hard mode, full loot, monsters at full challenge.
Yep.
Anyway, I hope that helps. Or at least I hope that gives you somewhat of an entry. Then we have an @Pyrnassius question.
Jagex actually, Jester has something down here. He says it could work like they have an easy mode of raids that comes out a few weeks at a time after the first release. So they have an easy mode. So your elite PVMers can get through there and get all that just sort of loot and take advantage. And then people like you can go into an easy mode, start learning it, and perhaps work up to those harder ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not a bad idea. World of Warcraft, we followed in its footsteps for many, many years. EOC, basically. Dungeons. I might as well keep going. Let's see. So, @Pyrnassius. In one of the previous podcasts, you were talking about a tinderbox perk. I'm not sure if I picked this up correctly, but if I let you pick up the X amount cap of the usual clue scrolls, can you give me the info on this?
It is called the Prosper perk. So it's you put on your. I had it on my my augmented tinderbox. The Prosper perk just basically gives you a chance at clue scrolls. And basically, it's a soft cap that they have on those clue scrolls of 25. But things like skeletal horror and your weekly clue you can get from the aquarium don't pay any attention to it, and neither does the perk. So that's how I ended up with 100 elite clues in my bank. So it's just called the Prosper perk.
Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans.
And it's a tool one, so it's not one you can put a weapon on. It's solely for tools, so you can put like your pickaxe, your tinderbox, your hatchet, etc. So that's it.
Text messages.
Okay, that's okay.
Anyway,
we are up to the end cap.
Yep. This is the fun part where I pretend like I remember where I put the end cap. I'm just getting back into the show notes. Okay, cool. I'm back into the show notes. It's a good show.
It was a fun show again.
Despite my horrific intro. That was a train wreck of an intro.
That was an awesome intro.
Oh my god. I don't know about that. But I'll tell you what. Dark Inn and Mycolite. Dark Inn and Mike on the ground for you right there. Here, someone enjoy that. Because I'm just going to use the porter on the ore because I'm a mess. There we go.
Oh, what annoyed me the other day, someone was down there yakking pet, and their yak died on them. And there was 30 Dark Animika on the ground. My rune box was full, and my inventory was like 3/4 full, so I got about 5 of them.
Oh, hey, Rubik. Is the BTS video out? If the BTS video is out,
ooh, yeah,
then we stalled just long enough. Nice. Nice. Thank you. That is beautiful. I always love a good BTS. It's very rare that we make it.
We haven't made it lately, have we?
No. Generally...
Because they put it on so much later.
Yeah. Generally, they don't make it in time for the BTS. So, let's do it. All right. Ready? 3, 2... I got it up if you're ready.
Yep, I'm just waiting for it to load. And... Yep, got it.
All right. Here we go.
Now we've turned 18 and feel all grown up, it's perhaps fitting that this month we're casting our minds back right to the very beginning of our journey with a sequel to RuneScape's first ever quest. However, that's just a taster compared to February's main course. Are you ready for the arrival of the third and final outing in our epic Elite Dungeons trilogy, the Shadow Reef? Also on the way this month are some great new cosmetics and some less obvious but actually very cool improvements to how we build quests. Oh, and a tiny little thing called Double XP Weekend. Yes, it's that time once again. Double XP kicks off on February the 22nd and runs until February the 25th, offering delicious XP returns for RuneScape members, although non-members also have a reason to cheer with a 20% XP boost. If you have not done so already, and even if you have, Double XP is also the perfect time to get stuck into the mine and smith and rework. Twice the XP for every bit of ore mined and every weapon forged, yes please. The third and final entry in the epic Elite Dungeons trilogy is nearly upon us, and at long last it's time to face the Ambassador. By now, you've likely conquered the sandy pillars and steps of the Temple of Amanishi and successfully traversed the burning depths of the Dragonkin Laboratory. But even if you haven't, the time has come to take the plunge and tackle the watery challenge of the Shadow Reef. This story-driven adventure takes you to the realm of the dreaded Ambassador, although he is just one of 3 bosses and loads of mini-bosses, all of whom are voiced, that players will have to face if they are to emerge triumphant. Also, look out for the mini-boss named by a charity auction winner. We suspect you'll know it when you see it. Players must descend ever deeper into this multi-leveled underwater abyss and prevent a ritual designed to summon an ancient evil to Gielinor. Successful adventurers can lay claim to a new Tier 92 two-handed crossbow, free pets and free sigils among other new things, and those who have been paying close attention to the narrative threads weaved through the Elite Dungeons thus far may find a few loose ends being tied up. Also keep an eye out for our special Elite Dungeons video releasing on YouTube on February the 22nd, which will recap all the Elite Dungeon fun so far and give new starters an encouraging nudge in the right direction. To get started on the Shadow Reef, head on to the Boast east of Daemonheim. There are no level requirements, although be warned that the combat is aimed at higher levels. Note that you no longer have to complete any of the Elite Dungeons to access the others, although there are bonuses available to those who complete each dungeon in consecutive order. We're also introducing a new Spotlight mechanic that sees one of the 3 Elite Dungeons offering additional bonuses each day on rotation, and the Shadow Reef will be launching on February the 25th. We want to correct a very grave oversight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're guilty of gross negligence. We have knowingly created a world in which cheesecake does not exist. For nearly 2 decades, the fine denizens of Gielinor have been forced to endure this injustice, but now our new quest, Chef's Assistant, is here to right this wrong. Cook's Assistant was the first ever RuneScape quest, released way back in 2001. Back then, players were helping to make a birthday cake for Duke Horatio. Chef's Assistant works on the same lines, with players helping the head chef to perfect a new recipe for a top secret dessert to show off at the next Cooks, Apprentices and Kitchen Expert Society meeting, cheesecake. Chef's Assistant is relatively short and combat free. One does not fight when cheesecake is involved. It is a free-to-play quest that is available to all players with access to the Cooks Guild. Once your cheesecake skills have been mastered, you'll be able to make 6 different varieties, some of which make use of the flavoured milks from player-owned farm. They offer prayer restore and healing effects, plus some very cheesecakey post-quest content, and of course, a new achievement to grab. To get started, players must have firstly completed Cook's Assistant, which we're presuming you've already done, and then simply head over to the Cooks Guild and speak to the head chef to begin the quest. Chef's Assistant launches on February the 11th. Those with a penchant for fashion will also want to keep a close eye on Treasure Hunter this month. Crystal Capsules will offer the first chance to get hold of the new Shadow Gem helmets and weapons, along with Death Touch darts and assorted sizable large cash prizes. Look out for that from the week beginning February the 7th. Also, keep your eyes peeled for Boneyard, which will, for the first time, offer both the Bone Master outfit and the Skeletal Bear Pet. These arrive on the week beginning February the 28th. February also sees the introduction of several under-the-hood changes to how we put our quests together. The impact for players won't be immediate or huge, but it'll make the lives of our developers a little easier and allow them to better bring their fantastic ideas to life. Alongside this are a few tweaks and tucks to how quests operate in-game. Changes so far include better quest sorting, for example, including by star area, release date, quest series, chronological order, and combat difficulty. More information on the quest overview screen, and improvements to the Wild Gothic Sleeps and Children of Bark quests. We're over the moon about how many of you have joined this year's Premier Club. We have had good news for those of you who have yet to take the plunge. Due to popular demand, we have extended the opportunity for you to grab 2019's Gold Premier Club package. The Bronze and Silver Premier Club packages will still be unavailable from February the 4th. Also landing shortly are the introduction of farmhands and an animal barn to play your own farm. The former will be purchasable with beans and will help look after your pens, while the latter will give you much needed space to store your animals. That's it for this month, other than to remind you to join us for our month ahead live stream on February the 5th, our Q&A live stream on February the 12th, and our Elite Dungeon story live stream on February the 19th. You can also check out all of our RuneScape live streams on Twitch. And that'll do it for February. And much like my hair, we hope it flies by very quickly. Boom. There you go. How's that? Does that work?
All right, all right. Shawnee looking fresh with that haircut.
Almost didn't recognize him. I did like the nice new intro at the start too.
Yeah, that was
the
nice.
whole flaming thing into the RuneScape logo. Some interesting stuff. Yeah, all the bosses are going to be voiced.
Yeah, all the bosses,
including Bossy McBossface, the one that was won by the player.
Yeah, yeah. ED number 3 on 25. Is that the number? Is that the correct number?
The 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Feb 25th. Two-handed crossbow, new pet, and I was interested about that rotation bonus that they had.
That crossbow is gorgeous,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking good.
Yeah. The month that looks.
And-
I'm honestly more captivated by the cheesecake than the.
I know.
Than the dungeon.
I was going to bring that up about it's making use of the chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla milk now too, by the look of things. So that's good.
I'm super excited about that. One of my hidden agendas is a cooking rework that I know will probably never see the light of day, but I just super want to just see completely superfluous, unnecessary, just complicated cooking concoctions that are just ridiculously cockamamie.
No, I want that same sort of thing, something that takes ages to get done, but it is the best in slot food. You know, as I said, or sales fish and
ridiculous
that type
recipes.
of thing. It's just silly that they're the best in slot food. It should be something that's convoluted to make, so that people who want to sit there and concentrate on that type of thing can do it, make money,
Jacks
and then
the value
sell it.
up. Yeah,
Yep.
Because convolution adds value. The convolution revolution. Next on Magebit.tv. So yeah, we got Double XP Weekend, which we already knew about the date on, of course. And
that I saw that card. I thought, oh, beauty, we've got a new start doing, but no, it's just a treasure hunt. The Bone Master.
Yeah.
I was all excited thinking it was one of those bingo card ones again.
And we don't have a third seat around to make any Bone Master jokes. Oh, I just missed that Saren Spear by a literal half second.
I've done that several times. They're supposed to hang for 30 seconds, aren't they?
Yeah, we'll blame that on the tick system.
Yeah. I did that the other day. I clicked on it and I got, where's my reward? And it showed up. Hang on. I didn't miss that.
If you click it, I didn't get the red click, so like I know I missed that, but like because
you run to that spot instead.
Yeah, it was just like the last clickable second it disappeared right as I clicked, and I was just like, I know what happened there. I got
there goes your HSR.
Yeah, every time I've lost so many HSRs.
That was your HSR.
You don't even know how much I've lost.
40
billion gold.
Did you hear the other day someone got a HSR drop with the Abyssal helmet that does the double loot drop and got 2 HSRs?
I don't want to know that. Can I unknow that?
So sick.
I need to go find some street drugs so I can just like ruin whatever part of my brain, my amygdala, what is it? My hippocampus, that part. I need to what drug will destroy my hippocampus? Probably all of them. Anyway, that's all we got. I'm looking forward to February. It's going to be a good
Looks
month.
like a really good month. Yeah.
I'm going to try to get 120 agility on Double XP Weekend.
Whatever happened to that competition they were going to run?
Which one? The clan competition?
Yeah, for the agility clan comp.
That's a good question. You signed up, right?
I didn't know you had to sign up. They just sort of said they're bringing it, and I haven't heard anything about it since.
You had to register your interest on the forums. Did you do that?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, you should do that.
Yeah, definitely. I will. I'll try and find it.
Oh yeah, I thought you did that. I told you to do that. Right, I'll find it for you.
Yeah, no, I thought they would have been
events and
promoting it and said, okay, sign up now.
Let's see. Well, also see it's still possible. I mean, let's see here. Competitions. Well, you know what? I'll just search Agility Clan Cup. How about that? Am I the world's smartest? No, I'm not the world's smartest person. That just why does this have the worst? You know what also has the worst search algorithm? The Grand Exchange.
Yeah, yeah.
On the website, you put the word like Annie in ANI, no results, and then you put Animika in, fine. Yeah, I get it, but like you can't do search within string. Come on. Is this like you can't use technology that like was around when I was in high school and probably when Pern was in high school? Anyway, I'm done. Are you done? We good?
I'm done. Yep.
There's another
We are all good.
PlanetSide Arena playtest starting at 3 p.m. this afternoon. You can still pre-order.
It's on NDA.
Yeah, but you can still pre-order.
Yeah.
So you can pre-order and become part of it. You can actually sign up for the beta, and they might send you a key. PlanetSideArena.com. Anyway, I'm going to go be a part of that. I also have to edit all this shit. Get the show up.
Yep.
I love you all. It's been fun. I'm going to play reruns. Oh, I got to do the outro.
I was going to say, how about find us on the web at?
Yeah.
I'm just
I'm
going to
leave.
the outro.
I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave it running. You know, I'm just forgetting how to podcast at this point.
We're going to go to bed and the people are going to hear me snoring because you've forgotten to turn us all off.
It's gonna be worse. I'm gonna end up on live stream fails with like one of those bad situations.
Yeah, sitting back, the camera going.
I did.
I've seen a few of those.
I plugged my webcam back in, so we're good again. Anyway, you can find us on the web. We do have a clan website available for you, runescape.club. That is our Rune Clan website. You can find my Rune Clan rankings as well, runescape.expert. You can check out our RuneScape publication, runescape.today. Still under construction, working on that one. It's been a busy week. Social media, Facebook page for you, facebook.com/rsweekly. Also on Twitter @rsweekly. You can join us on Discord, runescape.chat. Put that in your web browser, not Discord. You can find our YouTube channel, runescape.video. You can join us on Twitch. I'm Magebit, or twitch.tv/Magebit, or what is it, Magebit.tv? You know, that place? My brain. Somebody fix it. You can find us in-game, Kill, Skill, and Chill. It's Kill, Skill, the letter N, Chill. You can also support me in all of our creative endeavors at patreon.com/RuneScape. The pre-show is already up. It's almost 2 hours again. Our pre-shows have been getting pretty long. So you can check that out again. Patreon.com/RuneScape. I also have Magebit.me now, again, if you want to support any of my personal projects, including the Dementia project that I'm working on for my grandmother's thing. If you can check that out as well. Special thanks to our top patrons, Sudwood, Ricky A, Michael K, like 16 other supporters. Thank you so much for being top patrons. And all of our patrons, thank you so much for supporting us. It means the world to me to be able to produce the show. We wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for our patrons. So thank you so much. We'll be back to do it again next week. Look forward to being able to do it again. Thank you so much, Pern.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone out there in chat. We will, of course, be back next Friday. So again, happy scaping. And we will pop on reruns if you missed any of this show. So stay tuned. Thank you, Super Tie.